The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
It is Aaron Glenn Day, and we're taking you live to the press conference right now where Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji will meet with members of the Jets beat, local reporters, and many more. We head live right now to Florham Park, where we will listen in on the Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji press conference. Here we go.
For their second interview, it was pretty apparent to us who the leaders were, but we just wanted to verify it. I will say that the candidates we picked are all excellent coaches and general manager candidates. They really are. The fact that these guys emerged at the top, and it's a clear top, was really a credit to them and how they performed and their history and all the accomplishments that each one of them had in different ways. So I'm going to start with Darren. Darren he actually put on a pro uniform. It may have been for a day or two, but it's more than 99.99% of the American population of football players that want to play this game. Anyway, when he realized he wasn't going to be a first-string quarterback, I think he might tell you the story. He went to coach a high school team as an assistant just to help for that year. Then he went to intern. He went to the Broncos and asked for a job. And obviously he was convinced that he got that job. And in 12 years, he worked his way up to assistant general manager. And he was involved in all phases of the general manager job, which is absolutely an enormous undertaking for any one individual. It's a really, really big. Now you have to pick players and you have to manage that process, which is very, very complicated. We asked him all these questions for I don't know how many hours, at least 3 hours, plus a second one, maybe another 3 hours. And he really had we were so impressed by his organization and his ability to pick out players, both college and pros, and that's really the heart of the matter. That's really what you have to be good at. And the second thing that we really admired about Darren was his understanding the relationship between the general manager and the head coach. It's the most important thing because the general manager has to understand what kind of player they're looking for. The general manager has to do a job of trying to find that player. He has to manage all those scouts we have too. And how do you harvest all those good ideas, challenge your scouts to give you better info, and then make the decision for the best interest of the team and the best interest of the head coach as well, and what he's looking for. Now, Aaron Glenn, I just remember him as a player. He I think he was drafted first round by the Hess family. I met the Hess family a couple of days ago. We were down in Washington, D.C., and I asked them about Aaron. They said, oh, yeah, we lucked out on that one. He's a first-round pick. And, the interesting thing about first-round picks, who knows?
Thinking is overrated. Remember that, folks.
But he is a first-round pick all the way through his career up till today. Really is. Everything he's done is exemplary. And, if I were writing a how-to manual on how to be a head coach in the National Football League, I would take his career and his curiosity and his dogged determination from a player to a scout for the Jets to other team. He was in another team, and then taking a shot at a team that hadn't won in how many decades? The media will know, but a number of decades, probably 3 or 4 or 5 decades, and taking that team with the head coach and the offensive coordinator and turning it into something was really exciting to watch. So,
all right, Woody, we get it. Let's hear from Glenn.
We're blessed to have these two gentlemen here among us, as we are to have all of you here too. So this is a very happy day for the New York Jets, and you'll be hearing from these guys soon. So congratulations, gentlemen.
All right. First time I've done, by the way, the live reaction stuff here. So we're trying this out on the channel. Here we go. Mougey.
Thank you for those kind words, Mr. Johnson. And good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank everyone for being here today.
You're welcome.
I also want to start out by thanking Mr. Johnson, Christopher Johnson, the search committee, Jaime, Mike Tannenbaum, Rich Spielman. I thought it was a great process, and I really enjoyed my time getting to know you guys throughout that time. It is one of the greatest honors and privileges of my life to be named general manager of the New York Jets. This is a proud franchise with great tradition and incredibly passionate fans located in one of the most iconic cities in the world. I could not be more excited to take on this responsibility with AG as we work to build a championship team that will make the Jets fans proud. And there is not a better leader for this team than AG. And I want to tell a story. I got the opportunity a few years ago. We were going through a head coaching search in Denver with the Broncos, and we interviewed AG. And at the end of the interview, I'd ask the candidates, I'd say, so when we get in that first team meeting, what's that message going to be? What's it going to sound like? What's it going to look like? And most of the candidates would kind of just talk about their philosophies or something. And AG said, you want me to do it? And I said, well, if you're comfortable, let's see it. Let's do it. So he pushed back. He sat up, and he delivered a powerful message. Like when he finished, we're all kind of looking around like, wow. And as we went on through the search, because he was one of the first guys we interviewed in that search, we kept going back to it like, damn, AG killed that thing. Like, that was pretty good. We hadn't seen that. Fast forward a few years later, Thursday, I'm sitting in his office and we're talking, and instantly I'm feeling that again, that passion, the passion for the game, the passion and the care for the players, the fans.
Yeah.
The acumen. It was instant. And we got to talking about this Jets team and the vision and the franchise.
Winning.
Lockstep, right out the gate. Same vision. We're speaking the same language. So I can't wait to work this partnership and bring the Super Bowl back to the New York Jets.
Please. How about a winning season?
The team has alignment with its leaderships, and it starts at the top with ownership. It includes the head coach and the GM and the president to build a world-class organization. And we have that here with the Jets, and you guys will see it.
Please.
Getting to know Mr. Johnson and Christopher throughout this process, it's clear that the Jets ownership is fiercely competitive, cares deeply about the players and the fans, and is committed to winning. I felt that in the interview process each time we met.
Okay.
Jaime, I've enjoyed getting to know you, and I'm going to lean on you a lot like I have today. And I look forward to working with you to engage our staff, the great Jets alum, some are here today, the community, our partners, and our great fans. As the GM of the Jets, I will lead our personnel staff as we acquire, develop, and work to retain players that fit our team and culture. And we will
Garrett
do this
Wilson.
in complete partnership with the coaches.
Extend Garrett Wilson.
Our philosophy will be to draft, develop, keep our own, and be disciplined and strategic in free agency. There is no more important part of any sports organization than the players, period. It's about the players. And we have a good foundation of players here right now that we're going to continue to add to, and we're going to give those players everything they need to be successful and reach their potential. There will be accountability across each department and a high standard as we look to win not only now, but from now on. And lastly, I want to thank and recognize a few people who supported me along the way. And that starts with my wife, Hannah, and our two kids, Emma and Marlo, who I know are at home watching. Unfortunately, they couldn't be here today because the flu hit us 2 days ago, right as we were about to take off for New York. But I know they're at home watching.
I've had the flu for 14 years, Darren.
And support, I wouldn't be here today. I love you guys. I miss you. I can't wait to see you. I also, of course, have to thank my mom, Linda. I lost my dad at an early age, and my mom stepped up and supported me throughout all my ups and downs. To my mom, my siblings, and my dad looking down on us, I love you all. And of course, I want to thank the Denver Broncos, who took a chance on me as a scouting intern about 13 years ago. I learned a lot during my time in Denver, working with George Payton, John Elway, and supporting a lot of great football coaches, some of the best in the business. The Broncos are in great hands with owners Greg Penner, Kerry Walton Penner, Rob Walton, and I wish them the very best, except for when we play them this year, of course.
Ha, ha, ha.
And finally, to the Jets fans.
That's me.
You have
That's
my
you.
word that AG and I are going to pour our heart and souls into this job and do everything we can to get a Super Bowl back to this team. Thank you.
Thank you. Now let's hear from AG. All right. If you're watching live, this is a live watch party. Aaron Glenn, Darren Muji being introduced. Here's AG.
I wear glasses now.
I'm sold. Super Bowl
before
back
I actually
on.
get started into my my thank yous, I want to say that I got to thank God. I would not be standing here if it weren't for him. So I want to make sure I acknowledge that. My biggest influence in my life were my parents. My dad passed years ago. And when it comes to work ethic, that's where I got it from. I'm talking about 4 a.m. until the job is done. And that's what you're going to see from me. My mother, nurturing, sacrifice, raising 11 kids. 2 of them played for this franchise, my brother Jason. Learned so much from her, and also how to lay the law down also. My mom was good at that, so I want to thank them. My backbone, my wife of 28 years, Devaney Glenn. I could not be in this position without you. My rib. You're special. You're special. My 3 kids, my son, Aaron II, my daughter, Tristan, my daughter, Reagan. They should be coaching because they know this game just as well as I do. And they're the best kids that you can have. And listen, we're in this battle together like we always been. We are a football family. We love it. We sleep it. We breathe it. And that won't change. There's nothing better than that. To have a family that understands exactly how you operate and what you do. I love it. Woody and Christopher, your commitment to winning is clear. And I look forward to the conversations to continue to live that. Thank you, guys.
That means they better give you money to hire a staff, Aaron.
Our partnership is going to be something special. And we're going to make decisions that's best for this organization. There are a number of football people that helped me get to this spot. First off, my agent, Jimmy Sexton. My advisor, my friend, Amy. Where you at, Amy? Man, came in this league in 94, been together ever since. And nothing's going to break that bond. I appreciate you. Darryl Wade, my high school coach. He took me on my first visit to visit a college. He's like my second dad. I love him to death. Bill Parcells, who I think is the best coach to ever coach this game. He's taught me a ton. And just to be in his presence was something special for me.
The big tuna.
Al Groh, another coach that's been the coach of this team.
9-7.
I go and visit Al Groh every offseason and continue to get knowledge. And I'll tell you what, for him to allow me to be in the house with him and his family, to continue to just watch tape after tape after tape and continue to study this game has been special to me. Al, I appreciate you. Sean Payton. Here's the one thing I will tell you I got from Sean. So I go to the New Orleans Saints, and we were a solid team. But then we start winning year after year after year. Sean taught me what sustained winning is all about. Sustained winning. Dan Campbell, outstanding man.
Kneecaps.
Going to Detroit with Dan, we were at the very bottom. Woody, you said it. But you know what we did? We took it up to the top. So here's the one thing in my last 9 years I was able to do is be able to take a team from the top and reach the pinnacle and then also be able to sustain that. And that's what we're going to bring here to this team.
Let's go, Glenn. Let's go, AG.
My man, Darren. Bro, we're in this thing together. Again, we met years ago. I had a feeling. And to now, see that it comes to this. It's outstanding. We're going to do some magical things here, bro. Some magical things. I look forward to it.
Please, please. I love magic.
To the former players, my guys. Listen, I would not be here without you, man. The expectations hasn't changed. It hasn't changed. The blood, sweat, and tears that we shared in that field, has been valuable to my success.
Let's go.
I love you guys.
Let's go. I'm in. I'm
To
sold.
any players that's here now, put your seatbelts on.
Oh,
and get ready for the ride.
Let's go.
Put your seatbelts on and get ready for the ride. Listen, there are going to be some challenges.
Yeah.
But with challenges becomes opportunity, gets opportunity. But here's what I do know. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Oh, let's go. Yeah. I'll take that, coach.
Listen, I want this job. I interviewed for a number of them, but I wanted this job. When I was going to my second interview, I want to make sure this is going to be the second interview. It's going to be the first of the second interviews. Because I didn't want to leave the building without shaking Woody's hand and make sure we had a contract.
Oh, my God.
So I'm just telling you now, everything else was really out of it. It was all about the Jets, and it's been that way from the beginning. The organization, we've already talked. I respect every little thing that you do because this is bigger than me. It's going to take us all. It's going to take us all to accumulate wins. And I look forward to working with you.
Let's go.
Just a couple of things I want to nip in the bud before we get to the Q&A. Listen, I came on Wednesday. Well, I got the job on Wednesday. Mougey came and got the job on Saturday. And we came here on Sunday, and we started talking. Here's what I do know. Aaron Rodgers will be talked about. It will be talked about. We've already texted that communication with Aaron Rodgers. And as we continue to look at the roster, we'll make decisions accordingly. And that's with a number of people, right, on the team. I look forward to this.
I like it, AJ.
I look forward to it.
Address it head on.
It's going to be a great ride.
Let's go.
It really is. There's nothing better than having your start here as a player, here as a scout, and now here as a head coach.
Bring Rodgers back.
And I'm ready for it.
Let's win games, AG. Let's go. I like that. I like that. Let's go. You wanted to be here. You get it. Here we go. Q&A time. Eric Gelfand going to call on some reporters. Who's getting the first question on the beat? If you guessed right on Twitter.
Questions from the media and the audience. If you raise your hand, there'll be a mic. We'll come around. And
first question. Who's getting it?
Q&A here with the two gentlemen up here. Right over here, guys.
Oh, Samini.
Question for Aaron.
There it is.
Question for Aaron.
Bang.
Since you brought it up a moment ago, what with Aaron Rodgers, what is going to be your process as a coach to determine if he's going to be your quarterback next year?
Well, me and Mougey is going to sit and talk and just go over the whole roster. And I would tell you now, that's going to be the answer to a number of questions when it comes to the roster in general. So we're looking forward to that process. I can't tell you how long that process will be. But the thing is, we're going to make sure we get the right answer. And we're not going to rush with this answer. We're going to get the right answer.
Aaron Connor Hughes, SNY, you made it pretty clear you wanted to be here. So what about this organization specifically drew you here more than anything else?
Why would you do this, AJ?
First
Why? It's the Jets. We stink.
And I said it before. This is where I started. And you can't write a better story than that. Because this is my start for a number of situations. Again, as a player, as a scout, and now as a head coach. And you can't write that story no better than that. So hopefully this will be my last stop. That's the way I'm looking at it.
You never forget your first love.
Over here.
Aaron, Darren, congratulations to you both. Aaron, I want to start with you. My name is Crystal Rich, WCBS. I want to take you on a little trip down memory lane. You spoke about your time here as a player. Your third season, you guys had that 1-win season, but quickly turned things around, 9-7 in '97, and then went to 12-4 and had a playoff win. What is it about that time? What did you learn in that time about culture building and changing a culture that you spoke about? To give you the exact words, you said sustained winning. What have you learned about that, and have you used that in your coaching career?
If I go back to my first 2 years, I think we were 2-14 and 1-15 the following year. Bill Parcells comes in, and he just totally brought a different mentality and different people. And to me, that's what really changed the culture. And here's what I learned. I can stand in front of a group of men and I can give as many rah-rah speeches as I can. But culture is about people and getting the right people in the building. And I saw that firsthand with what Bill Parcells did. And that's why the turnaround was so fast. Again, we went 9-7 the next year. We went to the playoffs and we lost. And I would say this. Let me go. Here's another thing, and you men would know this here. Another reason why. In '98, we played the Denver Broncos. We're out there and we are winning 10-0 in the first half. We come back in the second half. They kick the ball off. Wayne, you remember this. It was windy. The ball stops midair, and they recover it. And they scored 2 touchdowns. I'll be damned if I'm not going to come back here and get that back. And that's one of the reasons why.
Brian. Aaron, Brian Costello, New York Post.
Kaz.
A lot of times people talk about coaches holding players accountable. What's your philosophy in terms of being hard on players versus, loving them up and being a quote unquote players coach?
To me, there's no such thing as accountability without responsibility. So it's my job to make sure that I let them know, what is your responsibility? And once they understand that, and then they know they have to be accountable for that. So it's not like I'm the one that have to tell them that you're wrong. They know it. So we set that standard up front. And players want that. They've been like that ever since college. They've been structured. So it's my job to make sure I set that structure. And after I said it, I hold them accountable for that. And they understand it.
Over here, Bruce Beck.
Oh, here we go.
Aaron, Bruce Beck, NBC4 New York, congratulations. You talked about sustained success. I think the fans just want success, any kind of success. How do you get there?
It's sustained success. And that's what we're looking for, because I've lived it. And it's going to take hard work. It's going to take dedication. It's going to take us as coaches to make sure we teach and continue to teach. The small things about this game is what really wins games. The smartest teams win games. Situational awareness win games. It's our job as coaches to make sure we do that, because that's the difference between winning and losing, is the small things that we got to get ready to teach. So that's the sustained success that we'll have.
Antoine.
Let's go, Antoine.
Antoine Staley, New York Daily News.
Oakland
I just want to go back to your journey
as
a scout in 2012, and just how did that help you land this position today? And just also, did you imagine that you would be in this position now, years from now?
Well, I'll tell you a story exactly how that happened. So 2008, I retired.
I was going to tell the Pivot podcast story.
To try to be the best dad I can be.
Frenchie's Chicken.
Taking kids to school and spending time with my wife. And I can recall looking at ESPN, and I forgot who was playing, but I am cursing the TV out. And my wife tells me, baby, go coach. Go coach. It was like a weight off my shoulders, because that's my passion. And it's okay to want to be a coach. Back then, I felt like I wanted to be a businessman, but I'm a football guy. And once she told me that, I got right in coach. I called Bill Parcells and told him I want to coach. He said, no, you're not going to coach. You're going to scout. I said, I don't want to scout. He said, well, that's what you're going to do, because I think you have a chance to be a head coach. And the best head coaches are really the guys that are best evaluators. So I took his advice, probably the best advice I've had since coming back in this league. So understanding how to do it from an in-house perspective, and then actually going on the road to be a college scout, to be able to evaluate every position. It helped me tremendously to be in this position.
Last one right here, Zach.
Anyone going to ask Mougey a question?
Hey, Zach Rosenblatt from The Athletic. For Darren, actually. I
was
wondering what are some of the key tenets that you look for, and when you're building out a team, the kind of team you want to build, the players you're looking for, what are kind of the things you're looking for?
Very important. And AG and the staff and I are going to actually start those conversations tonight, because I think that is a collective, collaborative approach on what we are going to look for in each player, from makeup to physical traits. And we're working that process right now.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. Mougey got off a little easy today.
I did. Yeah, I like that. Thank you.
We're going to break down, do some photos, and then we'll do group interviews. Print will be down here, and we'll do the TVs up top. Thanks, everybody, for coming today.
So here's how this works. They do the main press conference here, and then Aaron Glenn's going to give more quotes to the writers. Same thing with Mougey. There'll be some one-on-ones with SNY and the other TV reports. So we'll get some more takeaways from these guys when they're asked more specific questions. But initial reaction is we knew Aaron Glenn was going to win the press conference. Now it's about winning games. Aaron Glenn was always going to present really well for every Jet fan out there. He was always going to be someone that would fire up and inspire this fan base. He's a Jet. He wanted this job. And hearing him actually say it was pretty cool. Hearing him say we're going to do some magical things here, that excites you. Hearing Aaron Glenn say we're the freaking Jets and we're built for this bleep. You love that if you're a Jet fan. How could you not? This guy wanted the job. And now we have to hope that his skills as a leader and as a great coach on the defensive side of the ball now translate to the rest of the team as a head coach. You got to win. That's the key. I like that Aaron Glenn right off the bat addressed the Aaron Rodgers situation, saying they're already talking. I believe that there is a way for Aaron to be back and play for this team next year. I think it gives the Jets the best chance to win. Aaron Glenn's talking about winning games. I think AG will recognize that Aaron Rodgers gives them the best chance to do it. So, yeah, I mean, I'd be lying to you if I said I'm not excited, I'm not encouraged. But, we've seen this before. Coaches can win the press conference, and it doesn't amount to anything. Coaches could stumble and bumble their words at the press conference, and it doesn't mean a thing. The whole key now for the Jets is going to be to go out there, assemble a great staff around Aaron Glenn, right? Mougey's got to assemble a great front office around him. Joe Douglas's big hire was Rex Hogan. That's not good enough. Robert Saleh's coaching staff's left a lot to be desired, especially on offense. Really all on offense. That's the next step in this process. Who's the offensive coordinator going to be? Who's the defensive coordinator? Can we get some guys on the staff with some previous coaching experience? No one asked Aaron Glenn specifically about his offensive coordinator there. We're going to start to get more quotes coming, though, from the other interviews that are going to take place. Like, he'll have a one-on-one with Janae Coakley. He'll have a one-on-one with Eric Allen on the Jets website. That's how this goes. So there'll be more stuff coming out, but, I mean, I think if you're a Jet fan, you want to believe. You want to have excitement, optimism. I love the fact that it still bothers Aaron Glenn they didn't win in 98. I love that. That was a good line in that press conference. I love the fact that he said, this is where I started. You can't write a better story than that. This was my start for a number of situations. You can't write that story no better than that. Hopefully this will be my last stop. He wants this job. You got to love a guy who actually wanted this job. Understands how difficult this job is, how this media market is not for everyone. It will eat you alive if you can't handle it. The fans, the media. There's coaching in New York, and then there's coaching the Jets. It's different. This team hasn't made the playoffs in 14 years. They haven't had a winning season in a decade. This guy has unfinished business here, and he wants to win. That, I believe, should fire up every single Jet fan. He wanted this job. The Glennaissance era is underway. And now the question that everyone wants to know, will it work? And none of us have any idea. But you got to come away from that press conference optimistic. I'm not going to be gung-ho and giddy and act like because Glenn sounded awesome, that means he's going to be a great coach. But you want it to work. You want to root for this guy. He's a Jet. If there's one takeaway from this press conference, it's Aaron Glenn is a Jet. And that was felt, man. He's got a passion that you could just feel just watching it. I love Aaron Glenn talking about how his scouting background impacted his coaching journey. I love the little anecdote he shared about Bill Parcells saying, hey, if you want to get into coaching, be a scout first. I loved his line about holding players accountable. There is no such thing as accountability without responsibility. Aaron Glenn gets it, man. He's been with this franchise before. He's been in this market. He understands what he's signing up for. He understands the magnitude of this job. That's why, while yes, he's a first-timer, and I'd be the first to tell you, I did not want more first-timers in these roles. It's a little unique in that he's a Jet. You know, this guy started his Jet career with Pete Carroll for a year and then coat tight for the next 2. He won 10 games his first 3 years as a Jet and then saw Parcells come in and resurrect the franchise, just as Aaron Glenn is trying to resurrect the Jets franchise here in 2025 after Parcells did it in 98, 97, and then 98. And then Aaron Glenn as a coach was a big part of what the Lions were able to do the last few years, going from bottom feeders to championship contenders. This is his team. This is his franchise. I think you listen to Aaron Glenn, he's never been a head coach before, but you feel the leadership. I want to be all in, pumped up, excited. We've been burned many times. I hope it's truly different with Glenn. I really do. Aaron Glenn wanted this job. He has this job. You love hearing about his relationship already with Mougey. And one thing I'll say about Glenn and Mougey, they never worked together. Right? So this wasn't just, Aaron Glenn saying, hey, get me Lance Newmark because, well, I know this guy from my time with the Lions and he's a friend of mine. I'm going to get him a job here. You know, they went through this process. Glenn sat in on these interviews, and I like the fact that the Jets believe they hired a guy who has the background to be great at the job, worked his way up in Denver. But they share the same philosophy, right? Just because they never worked together doesn't mean that it's not going to work. You don't hire the worst candidate just because that candidate maybe doesn't know Aaron Glenn, right? Aaron Glenn's such a good coaching candidate that there's going to be plenty of GMs that obviously would want to work with a guy. So I like the fact that the Jets went out there and Aaron Glenn is working with a guy that he didn't necessarily work with, but they have similar backgrounds. They know the same people. Aaron Glenn's mentor, Sean Payton. Sean Payton calls up Aaron Glenn and says, Mougey's the guy. That matters. I like the focus on sustained success. You know, you got to win a little bit first. That's the thing. We're always talking about sustained success. The first step is just winning, man. I also, as people noted in the chat, I like saying that he thinks Parcells is the best coach ever. Suck it, Belichick. Huh. That was a great press conference. I enjoyed it. And now we'll get the other quotes coming out when Glenn does a bunch of interviews on TV and does a bunch of interviews with the beat reporters off to the side. Cool seeing the amount of former players that are there. Robbie Sabo tweeted out a group pic. Among some of the players that I recognize in the photo, Tony Richardson, Damian Woody, Nick Mangold, Wayne Corbett, Greg Buttle. I think that's Leon Washington, but I can't tell. So I love it. I love it, man. If you're a Jet fan, it's okay to be excited. I would say be cautiously optimistic because we're fans at the end of the day. We want to win. We want to see this team win football games. We want to see this team, I don't know, one day playing in a Super Bowl. That'd be nice. Imagine that. Remember the days when the Jets were in the playoffs regularly? Aaron Glenn does. He lived it. So the man won over the entire room and he won over the fan base. Let's call it for what it is. I'm seeing the comments here from people in the chat. We want to believe, man. It doesn't take much. Aaron Glenn is his own guy. In fact, we'll listen into Aaron Glenn. He's being interviewed right now by Caroline Hendershot of the New York Jets media team.
Means for you, but from playing here as a first with this team, first team you scouted for, and now the first team that you will be a head coach for. As you reflect on that journey, what does this mean to you?
Listen, this is the greatest story you could ever write when it comes to my life. And you already said it, 94 being drafted here, 12th pick in the first round, coming back, I think in 2012 to be a scout. being in-house scout for 2 years. They end up going on the road for 2 years as a college scout, and now coming back as the head coach. It's not a better feeling in the world, and you can't write a better story.
Other than your history with the organization, you expressed that you wanted to be here. Why was that? What about this team really called you home?
Listen, I know a lot of people that's here in the building, and I know what they stand for. And I felt like it was my job to come in and try to accumulate as many wins as we can and try to build a championship team. Listen, I know Woody. I know what he's about. And our conversations have been outstanding. And he is committed to winning. And we'll continue to have those conversations. And now, matching me with Mougey, I think we have a championship caliber team that's going to be able to give us a championship.
Darren Muji, you referenced him. He referenced you too in that Denver Broncos head coach interview. What about this partnership is going to help the Jets get to that next step?
We see things exactly the same, and we have a shared vision on how we're going to do it. And listen, we're not going to agree on everything, and that's okay. But the one thing that we have is respect for each other. And no matter what, when we make a decision, it's going to be both our decision. If we disagree, we can come out of the room. It's going to be one decision being made. And that's the relationship that we have.
What should players and fans know about your leadership style and your expectations for this team as they kind of look ahead to this offseason?
Well, listen, to me, my definition of leadership really comes down to one word. That's influence. And I plan on influencing every man that's a part of this football team and everybody in this building, really. I think it starts with my character. And that's something that I don't take lightly. It's my character. And also work ethic. I mean, you put those two things together. I think when people see that, it's hard not to follow. The expectations are to win, hands down. That's what we're here for, win a winning business. And I plan on bringing it to this team.
Now, last one for you. You've played with some legendary coaches. You've played under some legendary coaches. What would you say is the biggest lesson that you have learned from one of those coaches along the way that you're going to take with you into your new role as a head coach?
Just be authentic. Just be myself. Listen, players know a fake when they see one.
That's right.
And when you're fake to a player, you basically lost them. So they know I'm going to be myself, wear my emotions on my sleeve. I'm going to tell them what it is, and we're going to go from there.
Awesome. Appreciate the time, Coach. Thank you.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Ethan back.
I mean, Aaron Glenn's going to win the press conference, folks. He's going to win every interview. This fan base wants to support him. Let's go see some wins. Right? I mean, that's how I feel. Let's go see some wins. I mean, Aaron Glenn's a Jet. He wanted this job. He's crazy enough to want this job. Might be crazy enough to work. He's got to get the right coaching staff. But Aaron Glenn is genuine. Right? He's authentic. He's right. Players see through it. I think that was an issue with Salah. All gas, no break. That wasn't the mentality the Jets played with. Let's win games. Put on your damn seatbelts. Mark Ferrero. He's right. I love that line. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. I pinned the link to call in. I want everyone's thoughts on the Glenn presser. We'll keep playing some sound as I get it sent to me throughout the course of the show. But if you're just tuning in, this was the moment that fired up the entire Jet fan base during Aaron Glenn's introductory press conference.
Put your seatbelts on and get ready for the ride. Listen, there are going to be some challenges. But with challenges becomes opportunity, gets opportunity. But here's what I do know. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this.
Let's go. We're the freaking New York Jets, and we're built for this bleep. Hell yeah. Love it. I'm playing that again. I'm glenned up.
Put your seatbelts on and get ready for the ride. Listen, there are going to be some challenges. But with challenges becomes opportunity, gets opportunity. But here's what I do know. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this.
Let's go. Let's go, AG. Look, I hope he's the guy. Every Jet fan should be rooting for him. Even if he wasn't your first choice, you wanted someone else, whatever, man. He's the coach. He wanted this job. He's crazy enough to want it. God bless him. Now let's win some games. Hit the like button if you're one of the 987 people watching live right now. We are starting to take entries for our next raffle. If you're tuning in live right now, I'm going to do the raffle for the signed Garrett Wilson, signed Joe Klecko jerseys coming up in just a bit, plus all the other raffle prizes. And now, moving forward, every raffle entry, every membership you gift goes towards our next prize, which features a signed Aaron Glenn photo. Aaron Glenn signed photo, the next big time prize for the Asmaniac raffle. That will be raffle number 14. We're going to do number 13 during this stream you're watching live right now. The other grand prize, a signed Joe Klecko Hall of Fame inscription Jets helmet. Those will be the top 2 prizes for Asmaniac raffle number 14. So we're already collecting memberships for that one. AVU gifted a 10 spot. He's in that raffle for the signed Glenn photo and the signed Klecko helmet. Let's go. Some super chats to get to. Jeffrey R. LFG. JETS Jets. Jeffrey, you're in our next raffle for 5 with that, by the way. Let's go. Big fella, the Glennaissance era is here. It's also the Darren Muji era. Here's Darren Muji one-on-one with Jets reporter Caroline Hendershot.
He was a candidate, and I was excited about that. And when they announced it, I was excited about that because I've always been a believer in AG since that day I met him at that interview. So it definitely had a huge effect.
You talked about the makeup being a very important thing as you look at this team going forward. What are some of the characteristics you look for as you're making up a team?
Yeah, we talk about it, and I want to talk details with the group here as we kind of create our own vision and language. But when we talk about the makeup, we're talking about the mental, the football character, the toughness, the grit, the attitude, all those things. But we'll have it defined as we collectively go through the process and talk about it as a group.
And last one for you. I know that Jets fans and even the players themselves are going to be excited to see your plan unfold for where this team goes as the offseason approaches. But what are your expectations for this team in the 2025 season?
I don't have any set expectations on wins or losses. I just know we're going to win and improve.
Awesome. Appreciate the time, Darren.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to win and improve. Well, the expectation should be win as many damn games as possible. All right? Look, this is Aaron Glenn's team. If you want to take away from the press conference, Mougey's the GM. There's not a move that's being made unless Aaron Glenn's also on board. You know, Glenn had the line they might disagree on things, and that's true. You want healthy discussion, healthy debate. But make no mistake, this is Pete Carroll in Seattle, where he was the face of the organization. This is Kyle Shanahan with the Niners. Tomlin with the Steelers. Like, certain coaches have the gravitas to be the face of an organization. The Jets are betting on Aaron Glenn. Now, Mougey's supposed to be a really good player evaluator. That's his strength. So him and Aaron Glenn see it the same way on player evaluation, I hope. Let's win games, man. But once again, if you're not excited about Aaron Glenn, I mean, come on, man. He's a Jet. He wanted this job. He's one of us. You know, I was down in Houston. I did radio for 6 years in Houston before I moved back to New York last year. I was there when DeMeco Ryans got hired. And I saw what that did to that fan base and all the former players who were there that started to believe again. And the Texans were coming off a disastrous situation. Their third head coach in 3 years. They were picking second in the draft. They had a franchise quarterback request a trade and then get buried in a legal situation. They were starting over. This Jets team is more talented than that Texans team. They're in a better situation than that team. And DeMeco changed it right away. That's what Glenn hopefully could do as well. Eric says, we're the New York Jets, and we're built for this shit.
Put your seatbelts on and get ready for the ride. Listen, there are going to be some challenges. But with challenges becomes opportunity, gets opportunity. But here's what I do know. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this.
Let's go. Let's go. Aaron says, bringing up 98 game gave me chills. LFG. Amen. Brian writes in, it's clear AG is in charge of everything. I mean, he's the guy. Mougey obviously will play an important role as the general manager. Glenn can't do everything as both the coach and the GM. That's not what this is. But he's the voice. If Aaron Glenn says we're doing this, they're doing it. The decision on Aaron Rodgers is not Darren Muji's decision. If Aaron Glenn says, I want Aaron Rodgers as the quarterback, Mougey's job is to figure out contractually how they can make that work. He's the guy. 25 with a super chat. AG called Parcells when he wanted to start coaching, and Parcells told him to scout first. Don't remember hearing that on the pivot. His respect for Bill Parcells is awesome. That's his mentor. Larry Romano in the house. People make the culture. There's no accounting tabooishly with. I think there's got to be some sort of grammatical mistake here, Larry, but I like that you say that Aaron Glenn gets it. Small things do win games. I like that quote too. Bo says, AG put zero stock in a speech. He said he could say it until he's blue in the face, but the on-field results are what matters. This is the coach. This is the coach, baby.
Put your seatbelts on and get ready for the ride. Listen, there are going to be some challenges, but with challenges gets opportunity. But here's what I do know. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this.
Hell yeah, baby. AG. Gabe says, Jake, that Muzzy looks incredible. Mustache Monday, baby. Come on now. Shout out to Charles Gorman. K&D says, big up my hit of Jake and chat all in on AG. Big fella. We need built for this shit on a t-shirt. JakeAsman.com/shop. I will work on that. Hey, Gator. If you have any time. Hey, Snowball, if you have any time, I need a design. Aaron Glenn, right? I need a silhouette of Aaron Glenn because I don't think legally I could use his actual face. And I need built for this shit on a t-shirt right away. All right? Whoever does that first will be compensated. I promise you that. Love that. Hit the like button if you're tuning in. And also, if you're one of the people watching this live right now, there's over 1,000 of you tuned in between YouTube and Twitter right now. Please smash that subscribe button. I have 41,127 subscribers. Let's keep it going, baby. The Asmaniac raffle is coming up if you're tuning in live and you're in on our 13th raffle. We have a massive amount of people that are entered in this one. It's our biggest raffle we've ever done. K&D says, get me the Henny. To Aaron Glenn, the Glennaissance. Anything is possible. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line, Gusbuster hotline link is pinned. We'll keep you up to date on any other takeaways from Mougey and Glenn as they're going to do off to the side interviews now. And there'll be more questions about Aaron Rodgers. There was only, I think, 2 in the press conference. There'll be more. Ladies and gentlemen, Stan from Westport's first up on this stream. Hello, Stan.
Wow. I'll tell you one thing. Glennaissance is genius, Jake. That was great. And
I can't take any credit for that. That was one of the Asmaniacs who came up with that.
And the T-shirt idea is tremendous, too. This is all going to go down. Listen, that was the most important press conference in decades for the Jets, for sure. I mean, there's no question. He came out just like it's the first play against the all-pro receiver, and he's chucking that guy in the first play. He's letting us all know and the world know he's not messing around. He's taking charge. Look, the thing I love the most about him, he described how he came up. He described, 11 siblings and or 10 siblings and his mom. And he was coached right. He was raised right. He was mentored right. And obviously was a stellar player. But he knows he had the talent, but the work is what got him to where he's at. Not the talent. Lots of guys have the talent, but it's the work. And the other thing that you got to love, no dumb mistakes are going to happen under him. And if they do happen, in the rare circumstance they do, that player is probably either packing their bags or going to not let it ever happen again. You know what I'm saying? And those things are huge, huge. We saw that. Look at the playoff teams, right? I mean, the game yesterday, it was, I don't think there was what was there? One penalty all the way almost through half of the fourth quarter. See what I'm saying? That's huge. So I'm telling you, I think I think 11-6, like I told you before, you got the QB at least for a little while. You got the running backs. They're decent, if not good. You've got very good wide receivers. The OL is improved and better. And all that has to happen, which is why AG is the right man, is the D just has to play up to what it's capable of doing. And I'm telling you, it's a playoff team, as is. And they'll get a couple of draft picks that are important and some free agents too. Listen, that's another point. Free agents are going to want to come and play for this guy. That's for sure.
Money talks there, Stan, but I mean, this guy is one of the more beloved assistant coaches in the league. I mean, there was a Players Association poll last year, and I think he was number 1 on it. On like,
that's huge.
Which coordinator would you most likely want to play for? Look, you see why. Aaron Glenn was always going to win the press conference. He was not going to go up there and go Adam Gase. Oh, my eyes are falling out of my socket. So, like, he's a Jet. You love it. It's like now it's about he's got to hire a great staff. And if they run it back with Aaron, like I hope they do,
they will.
They're going to have to figure out quarterback long term. And that's ultimately going to define him, right? Like, if Aaron Glenn and the Jets hit on the quarterback in the draft in 2026, or if they take someone this year that sits and then is the guy long term, he'll be here for a long time. If not, eventually it's going to run its course if they don't win. So, like, that's the biggest thing for the Jets going forward.
For sure. But, Jake, last thing I'll just tell you, but looking at a QB from the eyes of a DB that Aaron Glenn is probably more important than being a quarterback whisperer even. You see what I'm saying?
Agreed.
He's going to know what guys can do and not do from back there because he's seen it all. That's huge.
Agreed.
Anyway, great show, and get those T-shirts out. You'll sell a lot of them.
Hey, I appreciate it, Stan. Good call. Hey, real quick, sponsorship packages are available. If you want to advertise on the show, shoot me an email, asmanjake@gmail.com. We're going to be live from New Orleans all next week at Radio Row. I won't say who, but a very popular current member of the Jets is one of my scheduled guests already for next week. So stay tuned for that. asmanjake@gmail.com if you want a Super Bowl sponsorship package or if you want to sponsor the show in general. Hit the like button if you're one of the 1,152 people watching live on a Monday. Let's go, baby. How about a 5-spot of channel memberships that have been gifted by K&D? He's in our next raffle for the signed Aaron Glenn photo and the signed Joe Klecko Hall of Fame helmet. Let's go. K&D, this is for you.
Put your seatbelts on and get ready for the ride. Listen, there are going to be some challenges, but with challenges becomes opportunity, gets opportunity. But here's what I do know. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this.
Let's go. I love it. 5 people got memberships from K&D. Orb, J-Mart, Mag King, Sean David, Rich Rise, all getting memberships. Our raffle is coming up. I promise you that. I do have some breaking news from Woody Johnson speaking with members of the media off to the side. Woody Johnson says the Jets will return to their old reporting structure. Head coach and GM will both report to Woody. Neither is the boss of one another. In the past, under Douglas and Saleh, Douglas was Saleh's boss. So now it's different. Woody Johnson's message to Jet fans: strap on your seatbelts. When asked why it would be different this time, he responded by asking, did you just see the 2 guys up here? Woody's sold based on the press conference. Look, I hope Woody's right. You want to root for Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji. But come on, Woody. Don't tell me that, did I see the press conference and I'm sold? People liked Robert Saleh after his press conference too. All gas, no brake. And instead it was all ass, we suck. So we've been fooled before. This wasn't Gase though, right? Nothing's worse than that. But I'm convinced this could work because I think Aaron Glenn has all the qualities you look for in a leader and has all the qualities you look for in someone that can be a great coach. The press conference is not the reason why I think it could work, though. But, you know, Woody's the owner. He's trying to sell it to his fans. I get it. Woody Johnson also said on Aaron Rodgers that he's going to leave that to them. Said Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji, if they want him back, he's fine with that. Said he won't voice his opinion on that. Look, Woody has now said this to Brian Costello before the last game of the year, and he has now said it to everyone today on January 27th. He is staying out of it, he says. So I believe if Glenn and Mougey want Rodgers back, Aaron's back. And Aaron Rodgers should be the Jet quarterback in 2025. You are not finding a better option than him. He could revise his contract. You bring Devontae back. And with better coaching, he gives you the best chance to win, and you draft a quarterback that sits for a year and learns. Or you do it again in 2026. But once again, to the 1,200 people that are now watching this live, you tell me where they're getting a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers. What's your plan? What's your plan? Tyrod Taylor, who's going to get hurt after 5 games? Justin Fields? You kidding me? Why would he come here, by the way? Sam Darnold's not coming back. Like, I'm not sitting here trying to tell you all that Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback ever. He's not what he once was. We all saw it, but he still could play. All right? How many games did the Jets lose because their defense had the lead late and blew it? I can think of at least 3. New England, Rodgers led him on a touchdown drive at the end that gave him the lead. Jacoby Brissett, 80 yards down the field against the Jet defense. Anthony Richardson in the Colts game. Jets scored, 27 points that day? Didn't win against the Colts. Disgraceful. Miami, they're up 8 with a few minutes to go. Tua, right down the field on the Jet defense. 2-point conversion. Jets don't even get the ball in overtime because they lost the coin toss. And Rodgers, who played great that day, threw for like 330 yards, never got the ball. That's 3 games right there. How many games did they lose because Greg Zuerlein sucked? Right? And yeah, there were games Rodgers was bad too. He's also coming off an Achilles. He also had no coaching. He had no running game. I think Aaron Glenn, if he hires the right OC, why don't we, I don't know, run the football with Breece Hall and Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis? You know, Breece Hall had 0 games where he had 20 carries or more. So let's not make it all about the 41-year-old quarterback. Let's have a balanced offensive attack. Let's have play action in the offense that can be opened up by running the ball better. They have offensive linemen that are good. Olu is good. He'll protect Aaron Rodgers. John Simpson is good. Joe Tippmann is good. AVT is good. Bring back Morgan Moses, and let's roll the same 5 linemen year over year for some continuity with a better O-line coach. Because Keith Carter, get out. And this team should be a lot better than 5 wins with better coaching. That's what plagued them this year more than anything. All right, asking Aaron Rodgers to throw 40 times a game is ridiculous. If you view Aaron Rodgers through the lens of he's a bridge quarterback, find me a better option to do that than Rodgers. And I'll keep saying it. Super Chats, cut the line. More of your calls coming up. Tyrone says, excited, and I believe in Aaron and Aaron. A squared. Elton, Mougey, Brait, Glenn Times, come on. Cool in the gang. All right. The power. 3 things. God, family, and the Jets. AG standing on business. K&D, I don't need a raffle, fam. I'm here for the love. Well, I appreciate it, K&D, but if you win, you win. Big fella. The difference between Salah and Glenn is honest about love for the Jets. You could feel it. LFG, the Jets greats, all have his back. So pumped. I mean, it means something to Aaron Glenn. That matters. He wanted this. Bill, Super Chat. Love how Aaron spoke about avenging the 98 championship game. He spoke to the entire fan base, especially in the long-suffering fans. Unfinished business. Love that from Glenn. How could you not? More of your calls. Let's say hello right now on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline to Evan. What's up, Evan?
Jake, good to see you, man. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm Glenned up. It's the Glennaissance era.
Yeah, how can he not be? We all knew he was going to kill this like honeymoon period. He's just too good of a talker not to.
Yeah.
It was funny. The press conference started. Once Woody starts talking, my brain just shuts down. He's just like, every time he talks, I get so frustrated. He's the worst.
Well, that's why when the media was killing him, because he only did that one-on-one interview to Costello before the last game of the year, and he didn't do a press conference after the year. I said, good. The more this guy talks, the worse you feel about the Jets. He doesn't need to. The only thing Woody Johnson now needs to do is spend money when they ask for it and stay out of the way. That's it. You hired your guys. These are your guys. Time will tell if you made the right decision. But Woody Johnson doesn't need to do anything. The less we hear from him, the better. Do what James Dolan does. Never talk. Dolan hired Leon Rose and Tom Thibodeau. The results for the Knicks speak for themselves these last 3 years. They're a championship contender now. That's all Woody has to do. Stay out of the way, spend the money when they need it, and that's it. And if they win, no one's going to be chanting sell the team at Woody Johnson anymore. It's the same thing with the Knicks.
Yeah, people forget quickly. It's like, I don't think people realize that about New York. Yes, like we're quick to anger, especially when the team sucks. But once the team's good, we'll forget it in a second. No one's screaming at James Dolan anymore. Like, no one cares about James Dolan because he's staying out of the way and the team's winning. So same thing could happen with Woody. But I will say this, beyond, I was expecting like a bunch of coach speak, and maybe you got a little bit of it in there. But honestly, you could like, I think the authenticity comes through, and you can definitely sense that with Salah. I felt like he was kind of like a salesman, like he's trying to sell himself to the fan base. With Glenn, it feels just like real, and he also, I can see why he killed the interview, because he says a lot of things. If you know how to run, I've been working in corporate life for 8 years. If you've been in any organization, there's a few key things. You hear certain words and you're like, oh, this guy gets it. When he talks about things like, giving people ownership so they're accountable, or, the fact that he was a scout and that was his base, and it allows him, now he could see, like, being a player personnel guy is important, like things like that, being able to identify talent, the focus on people, like all of that are things that build a great culture in any organization, whether it's football or you work for Amazon, that's what's going to lead to success. So those are some things. It's early on. I think the presser went well. Of course, like, when we got to wait for wins, but it's January. The Jets haven't played January in a decade. So this is all we have to talk about. And so far, I'm keeping an open mind, and let's go Jets.
Let's go. Time to win games, Evan. I'm with you. Look, I think Woody Johnson feels really good about these hires. He should. He tried to distance himself from Salah and Douglas because he wasn't here when they were hired, right? It wasn't him. It was his brother. These are Woody's hires. The last time Woody hired a GM and coach was Bowles and McCagnon, and that didn't work. So this is all on Woody. He went with the first-timers. It would have been very easy for Woody Johnson just to say, let's hire Mike McCarthy. We know he's a proven coach. Let's bring him in. They're going with 2 first-timers again. And let's hope it translates. Let's hope it works. Because, like, if this does work with Aaron Glenn, I mean, think about how special that is if Aaron Glenn's the guy that gets this ship finally turned around, man. Think about that. How awesome that would be. Great call by Evan. Hennessy says, now I know why Allen wanted Glenn. Look, guys, I'm pumped up for Aaron Glenn too, but did you think he wasn't going to win the press conference? I tell you, he wasn't going to go all Adam Gase today. Aaron Glenn is going to fire you up. He should. Now let's see what he does for his staff, offensive coordinator, all that. Knob writes in, we got more passion from Glenn in the 7-minute introduction than in 5 years of Salah. We're the freaking New York Jets, and we're built for this shit. I mean, that's a great quote. I want that on a T-shirt at jakeasman.com. King and Dreams, pass that Henny. Eisten, I'm now hyped, and half of me feels like an idiot. Woody needs to hide from the cameras like a certain ex-president, Sleepy Woody. Jeez. No politics around here. Borderline Logistics is watching on X. I wonder how our players are feeling today. They should be feeling good. Some Jet news. Aaron Glenn will not call the defense, he said. Good. That's the right move. Oversee the entire team. That's why I think you got to hire a proven defensive coordinator. The name Steve Wilkes has been mentioned. I think he'd be awesome. Aaron Glenn said Woody Johnson is committed to winning, and that's all he needed to know. I trust him with everything else I have. I mean, Woody loves Glenn. They have a relationship. Aaron Glenn, this thing is not about Aaron Rodgers. It's about the roster. Said they will evaluate everyone the same. No one player is more important than any other player. That's the great answer by Glenn. Aaron Glenn said, I was here when Woody bought the team. My conversations then were positive. There's no better person to work for with a winning commitment. I trust him with everything I have. That was the full quote I referenced. Woody Johnson, quote, I have to look in the mirror and be a better owner. Hey, I'll take that accountability from Woodrow. Glenn won't budge on any answers about what he wants at quarterback or what he thinks about Rodgers. Said it will all be evaluated. That's the right answer. Eisten writes in, Jake, when are you shaving your pedo stash? Well, I'll tell you what, Eisten. If you get 50 memberships, I'll go shave it immediately. All right? 50 memberships. That's $250. I will get up, leave this show that has 1,300 people watching live right now, and I will go shave the mustache immediately. All right? That goes for anyone. You want the stash gone? That's what it takes. Because I'm honoring Charles Gorman here on Mustache Monday. I won't do it for a penny less. Maybe a little bit less. I mean, who am I? I'm a capitalist. Come on. All right, more of your calls. Then the raffle. It's coming up. We're an hour in. Raffle will be within 15 minutes. How's that for a promise for everyone watching live? Let's say hello to Brick City. He's next. What's up, Brick City?
Hey, I'm pumped up, baby. I am pumped up. God, family, and the New York Jets. Aaron Glenn is in the building. Oh, I'm so hyped up, man. For what he finally admitted, holding himself accountable and looking like, yes, this is the stuff we want to hear. But now let's get the staff together. Let's see what translates. If this energy translates on the field. Hope for healthiness. Aaron Rodgers coming back makes sense. Aaron Rodgers it said openly, publicly, he's willing to take that contract, restructure that contract. So, if he does that, then, the domino effect follows, bring some dogs in here, some more dogs. Jake, I'm hyped, man. I'm hyped.
Hey,
what about you?
That's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to get you hyped. It's supposed to get you excited. Look, I wanted to work. Glenn wasn't my first choice. I wanted someone with experience, but I'm all in. I mean, I'm a Jet fan. I want to win.
Hey, like I said the last time I was on your show, if it takes a New York Jet to get us to the promised land, hey, clear the landing gears, baby. Let's take flight. Let's go. All right, thank you, Jay, for having me on. Shout out to my brother, too. Love you, bro.
You got it. Shout out to Brick City's brother. John says, for $250, we need the shave to happen in real. All right, I will shave it live on the air. I got to get like a garbage can to do it. I don't want like mustache hair all over my desk here. All right, I'm a professional, damn it. $250, and I will shave it on the air. You got a deal. Ladies and gentlemen, we have not heard from this guy in a very long time. But on a day Aaron Glenn is introduced as the next head coach of the Jets, we have the return of this guy.
The only thing better than all them shoes is Joey D, cause he totally rules. Jake, my brother, I'm high as a kite. I love everybody. Damn, this show is crazy.
Mr. Bonesy's back. No more Joe Douglas. Darren Muji in charge. Aaron Glenn here. He's back, baby.
Jake, my brother. Jake, my brother. Man, is it good to be back? It's good to hear the future coach of our team talk. It was a good speech. We all knew he was gonna. We all knew he was gonna deliver. In terms of that passion, I've loved as I look deeper into him and seeing, because I was with you. I kind of didn't want a first-time head coach, but seeing his connections with Parcells and Peyton, he thanked everybody in this press conference, and he's really grown on me, especially because it means something to him. So I am on board with Aaron. I mean, don't get me wrong. I still need to see Rodgers back. And if they really want to get me going, sign Garrett, and then we'll start really talking and feeling like we could win the offseason again. But this GM, I'm glad that they're on the same page. I'm glad they had a little history. I liked when he picked his eyes up from the card. I didn't like that he was reading off an index card that much. It kind of felt the passion was a little like, why are you reading off a card, bro? Deliver it. But then when he told the story about Glenn, I was like, all right, that now he could, now I feel it a little more. But I love the connection between the two. And well, we just need Rodgers back, and we just need Garrett to be signed. Now, those are my two big hurdles that I need to really start believing and feeling good.
Yeah, is Garrett Wilson extended yet? I'm checking here. I haven't seen anything on that. Still waiting on that.
Hell yeah. I'm sorry I've been dealing with some family shit. Just and it's crazy because I haven't been here for a while, and we were really talking about most of the same stuff. And then when I come back, like I left, and there was like me and a couple guys on the Rodgers bandwagon. Now I'm seeing a lot more. Like me and you are like in lockstep. Like we are feeling the same exact way.
There's no better option. I'm not even like trying to like sit here and be like, Aaron Rodgers is great. He's going to win an MVP next year. It's just like they can win with him at quarterback. If you look at Aaron Rodgers through the lens of, can he be an average to a slightly above average quarterback next year? I think the answer to that is yes. And if the Jets build the rest of the team around him, AKA fix the defense, have a more balanced offensive attack, get better situational coaching, they could be competitive. They blew the lead in the fourth quarter more times than any team in the league this year. Like they're in all these games. It's not like they're getting crushed and they're starting over. This is not a rebuild. This is a retool.
It's a retool, and with the talent on the roster, Rodgers being another year removed from the injury, our running game was so pitiful this year. I mean, we did not plan on have Rodgers throw as much as he did. And maybe without us being, if we're not in desperate mode, maybe when Rodgers is beat up and playing on one leg, he'll sit for a game instead of feeling like he couldn't do that. Like he needed to be out there for his guys, and he needed to be out there to try to save Salah's job at the time, because I'm sure he knew a little bit at that point when Denver game in Minnesota when he really got beat up. I mean, you knew he kind of had to have a little bit of idea there was a lot of pressure on Salah. So, he kind of felt obligated to play in those games. And I don't know, man. I couldn't see. I still see people in the chats. We got our guys still talking about like Justin Fields and all these pieces. It's like, yo, guys, man, that is not what in what world is a better bridge quarterback than Aaron Rodgers as a bridge quarterback with a chance to win now. We're in a win now mode. We're not in a rebuilding mode like we were with Salah and Douglas. We weren't starting from the bottom and ripping up. My boy, you guys know how I feel about JD. I always will. He left us with some nice pieces to work with, where on the opposite side of the spectrum, when they started, it was rock bottom. It was a terrible roster. Our roster is, top 10 in the league still in terms of talent-wise. Coaching killed us this year. So, I mean, I still need to see Rodgers back and Wilson signed, and I will really, really hop on board, because who knew that when Douglas came in, he was going to be able to be a decent a talent evaluator. I didn't know who Joe Douglas was. It was a crapshoot. And then he started off not with the best first year for a different regime, but as he started making trades like Jamal Adams and Sam Darnold and started showing, little cojones on draft, always moving around on draft day, you started to learn he can evaluate talent. And another thing I'll say is, one thing that we have to hope, and it seems like it now, but this is just first conference, first press conference together, but it took Douglas and Salah to almost get on the same page to know what Salah was looking for. And that's going to be interesting to see, what type of, there was specific talents for specific scheme for Salah. So I feel like that's going to be a big hurdle. And I'm glad that Glenn and Mougey are coming in at the same time. That's something I like. They have a past chemistry, a past interview, past moments, and the fact that Sean Payton's his boy. Sean Payton did a lot for Aaron Glenn, and he's probably like, listen, man, Mougey knows what he's doing. You remember meeting him. You guys had a little chemistry. Like, this could be something. So I'm very excited. I just need to hear about Rodgers and Garrett, and then we'll be all in. We'll all be back.
Now, here's what I need from you, Bonesy. All right? I need you to give us something to work with the new GM. All right? I need you to give us a little Mougey, boogie, boogie, boogie. All right? I need you to give us something. Boogie, 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 rocking everywhere. All right?
Mougey, 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 walking everywhere.
One more.
All right. This one's from my boy Neil, who's been checking in on me. Mougey, 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 Mougey. You guys know
one thing better than all the shoes is sexy Rexy, because he also loves food. Jake, my brother, I'm high as a kite. I love everybody, and man, these Jets are depressing.
Love it. Darren Muji, baby. I guess it's not even Mougey, but whatever. Tremendous. Bonesy, good to get you back on the show, man. You've been missed. Let's see. Jerome says, shave it off while you are in the air. All right, so if you gift 50 memberships, or the chat could come together here. I set a goal. I'll shave my mustache live on the air. You got 53 minutes to hit the threshold. 5 super chats of 50 or more, and I'm in, baby. I'll shave this thing on the air. If not, it remains Mustache Monday on this show. Period. Eiston says, we got to a championship game with Sanchez at quarterback. Former Hall of Fame quarterback should do just fine. Well, if that's the case, just bring back Joe Namath then, right? It's not about that. It's Rodgers' contract versus the alternative options versus does he want to play football. He's got to say he wants to play football first. I think he does. And I would try and bring him back. If I'm Aaron Glenn, I'm doing what Rex tried to do with Favre. Rex wanted Favre back. He called him. He tried to meet with him. He tried to get Favre to come back. Favre wouldn't commit. So they moved on, and then obviously he's like, I'm coming back so we can go play for the Vikings. I think Rodgers truly wants to be here. I don't think it's, I'm going to say I'm going to retire so they'll cut me and I can go elsewhere. I think Rodgers genuinely wants to stay a Jet if he wants to play, which I still think he does. I didn't feel that way after the last game, but then hearing him on McAfee 2 weeks ago, he sounded like a guy that wants to play. So, we'll see. Comment from Clay Hobbs. This is why the Jets never make the playoffs. They needed to rebuild for years, but they always retool. Ladies and gentlemen, today's dumbass comment of the day is brought to you by Clay Hobbs.
F you. F you. F you too.
I mean, the stupidity in that comment is remarkable. The Jets have always tried to rebuild. What do you think drafting Zach Wilson was 2nd overall and pairing him up with a first-year coach, first-year OC, winning 4 games? When Joe Douglas first got here, he traded away all the good players on the team, Leonard Williams, Jamal Adams. He got picks. He got draft capital. They tried to rebuild. It didn't work because they missed on the quarterback and they missed on the head coach. If you miss on that, it doesn't matter if you draft Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner and Breece Hall. He missed on too many big things. Coach, quarterback, left tackle. That was the problem. They tried to rebuild. Joe Douglas got 6 years. Don't tell me that's why they don't make the playoffs. No, you could turn it around in the NFL fast. Look at Washington. Look at Houston. Look at Denver. Look at the Chargers. Don't tell me this is why the Jets have never made the playoffs. You want to punt on next year, Clay? You want to just go 4-13 and be picking in the top 5? Which, knowing the Jets luck, that's not even going to be good enough to pick in the top 5. Or they'll be picking number 5 in a 3-quarterback draft and miss out on that guy. Don't tell me that the Jets have failed to make the playoffs the last 14 years because they needed to rebuild and they instead try to retool. That's not what's happened here. They've had the wrong people. They never make the playoffs because they needed to rebuild. That's bullshit, man. That is such bull. Bull. They have missed the playoffs because they've had the wrong people in charge. You get the right people, it could turn. And there's so many examples around the league of this. You know, don't listen to that. It's going to take Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji years to get this right. No, it's not. Win games, man. See, a lot of people probably forget this, but first-time head coach, Herm Edwards made the playoffs in year 1. First-time head coach, Eric Mangini made the playoffs in year 1. First-time head coach, Rex Ryan made the playoffs in year 1. Even Bowles won 10 games in his first year. Robert Saleh won 4 his first year. That roster sucked. This team is so much better than that team. Win games next year, man. It's the NFL. There's 7 teams that now make the playoffs. Time to win games. Alan says, can't wait for the 8-9 2025 Jets with Aaron Rodgers. Then don't watch. Alan, thank you for the time today. We appreciate your contributions to the show, but your day is done.
Now look what you've done, Alan. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the Sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give them another 24 hours to think about it.
And by the way, you know what's so sad about 8-9? That'd be more games they've won in a decade, in a single season. 8-9. The best Joe Douglas did over 6 years was 7 wins, 3 times. They haven't won more than 7 in a season since Fitzpatrick in 2015. Todd Bowles' first year. Ridiculous. I just don't watch. And also, Allen wanted Aaron Glenn to be the head coach. And now, because Aaron Glenn maybe doesn't agree with Allen's line of thinking that we should just tank next year and be terrible because he actually wants to try and win games with Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback, that's now not good enough. Go watch the Lions, Allen. Go watch the Bills. They're still in the play. Oh, wait. I'm sorry about your loss, Allen. So sorry. Oh, my God. More of your calls right now. Jason in Jerusalem's next. What's up, Jason?
Hey, Jake. Somebody pointed out to me, wonderful thing, that if Greg Zuerlein misses that kick last year against Washington, when the Jets blew it and Washington let them run around the field, Washington picks 5th and not 2nd, and Jaden Daniels goes to New England.
Yeah, I was wondering if you were going to say that's how they got Jaden Daniels, and then I was going to bring up that's also how New England didn't get Jaden Daniels.
It's crazy, but then again, I haven't seen defense like that since Washington since January 6th. But that's enough politics for now. What are your thoughts about the idea that once again the GM and the head coach report to Woody, and it's not a hierarchy?
It doesn't bother me. I think you prefer one to be above the other if they're not aligned, but I think these guys are aligned, so you're not as concerned. The issue with that was in 2015 when Bowles and McCagnon didn't know each other. Like, there was no shared, they were just thrown together. It was an arranged marriage. Glenn's the guy. Like, the way Woody talks about Glenn, if there's ever a decision that needs to be ruled on, if they're not aligned on something, Glenn's going to win that battle. That was clear watching this press conference.
Okay. I mean, the more I hear about Mougey, how does he pronounce it?
Muji.
The more I hear about him, the more I'm impressed. I was originally scared of the fact that he was only in Denver and he didn't necessarily go around the league and work his way up and learn from different minds, but he seems like an up-and-comer and somebody who's very bright, and he gets the vote of confidence from Peyton. The fact that Aaron Glenn, who you assume he wanted Newmark, and they were able to open him up and say, hey, what do you think about these other two guys? And he says, you know what, I'll go with Mougey. It sounds very impressive to me. But at the end of the day,
I agree. And look, he's answered the Rodgers question well too. I'm seeing right here in the media scrum. He said, "We're going to win games here. I got the most respect for Aaron and what he's done in the league as a player." What's your message to Jet fans? Get excited, strap it up. It's going to be fun. I mean, look, they're all saying the right things. We'll see what they do. Actions speak louder than words. We're all sick of waiting.
I missed it. Who won the contest? Who was the first person to ask a question? Was it Samini?
Samini asked the first question, so to everyone who tweeted me, you'll be entered in a random name generator, and I will pick a winner for a jakeasman.com merch item.
I guess Connor Rogers, who immediately responded that he's at the Senior Bowl and not in attendance.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that on Twitter.
Well, it was interesting. Everyone said Samini, but if you remember at the Aaron Rodgers press conference, Tina Savasio had the first ever question. So it's not always who you think it's going to be. So I thought it'd be fun to do it today, but the favorite one.
Yeah, I mean, he's been there since Weeb, so I mean, it makes sense.
It's true.
But I'm just surprised it's not, what's his name, Wyatt? Manish? What does he go by now?
Yeah, Manish Mehta. Well done. Sergi says, hell yeah, perfect rant. People are just used to losing. Yeah, people just want to bathe in your own filth. All right, Alan, go swim in dirty water and go bathe in it again and again and again. All right? No one wants to hear that. The Jets get the coach you wanted, and then you immediately go, well, have fun winning 8 games with Aaron Rodgers next year. If he's the coach you wanted, then let him make the decision on the quarterback. Sam says, we've had 8 coaches in 24 years. Can you send every tank wisher to Stupid Town? Yeah, if you're giving up on 2025 already, please. I might actually pay you to not watch the show anymore. I can't do it. All right, my mental health can't handle it. Physical health can't handle it. Goodbye. I'm going to have a heart attack. Larry says, if Glenn wants Rodgers, fine. If he doesn't, fine. That should be the mentality. I want Aaron back, but if they decide they don't want him back, they're moving on. I want to know what the plan is, but you want them to be aligned on what they're going to do. David, Super Chat, from the perspective of a longtime Lions fan, I believe Aaron Glenn's a great leader who's very competitive and did a great job with the defensive personnel he had available. Great hire by the Jets. Look, we know the man can coach defense, and he's a great leader. It's a different animal when you're the head guy. Let's see how Aaron Glenn can handle filling out his staff, managing a quarterback. Because even if Aaron's back, Aaron Glenn's going to be faced with the development of a rookie quarterback. If not this year, then next year. And his long-term future will be tied to that. Like if Mark Sanchez hit and was the franchise quarterback that the Jets thought he would be, picking him 5th overall, Rex might be still coaching the Jets right now. Like, that's so much of the league. You can only mask up your deficiencies at quarterback for so long. You need a quarterback. If not this year, then next year is when they're going to make that decision. And you got to see how it plays out. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Who's ready for a raffle? Are we ready? I'm ready. We're doing the raffle right here, right now. If you gifted a membership over the last 6 days, because our last raffle was last Tuesday, you're entered to win a litany of our prizes, including what I have right here in front of me an autograph signed Garrett Wilson number 17 jersey from his rookie season. So you can't even get that anymore. Also, what I have right here is a signed. Where's my clicker? Oh, here it is. A signed Hall of Famer authenticated Joe Klecko jersey as well. Those are the top two prizes. Our other prizes. This is worth millions. A signed Zach Wilson. A signed Aaron Glenn card. A signed Breece Hall jersey patch card. A signed CJ Mosley trading card. And a replica Super Bowl III championship ring. Those are the prizes. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time. For those new to the show, here's how it works. I'm going to screen share our raffle wheel for everyone to see. Everyone who's gifted a membership or sent in that number of super chat that was required, you're entered here. We have 856 raffle entries, which is a show record. This is our 13th raffle since December 1st. Insane. I've shuffled the list of names. You can only win one time. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm spinning the wheel. Here we go. This is for the Garrett Wilson signed jersey. And the winner is Jay Cruz. Congratulations to Jay. He wins the Garrett Wilson jersey. Let's go, Jay. Congrats to you. Let's remove all of Jay's names. Let's see how many entries Jay had here. I know he had a bunch. He had a lot. All right, ladies and gentlemen. The second winner of the signed Joe Klecko jersey is, spin the wheel, KH_111. Wow. Now that is a name that doesn't chat a ton, so that feels like a big upset. Let's see how many entries he had. We were at 786 before that. KH had how many entries in to win the Klecko jersey? Let's see. $776. Wow, okay. So we got two winners so far. Next prize is the Aaron Glenn signed trading card. Ladies and gentlemen, is it working? Am I still here? I think I am. Cincy Matt. I misspelled his name, but he is the winner. Now, Cincy Matt is not even a Jet fan, but he's getting a Breece. He's getting an Aaron Glenn card. Let me just write that down. Cincy Matt. AG card. All right. We got more winners here. Stand by. Cincy's in the house. He wins. Let's remove his instances. Here we go. My internet is choppy. Here we go. Spin the wheel. And the winner, Bo C, is the winner of the Breece Hall jersey patch card. Congrats, Bo. I believe he's in the chat. Breece. Bo C. Breece. All right. And two more prizes now. We have the signed CJ Mosley card I'll do next. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Do, 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 do. My internet is slow as bleep. Here we go. Winner of the CJ Mosley card. Mimosa. She's won every raffle. Incredible. Mimosa, that's awesome. You get the CJ card. Love that. And then we got one more winner. Ladies and gentlemen, the Joe Willie Namath replica Super Bowl III ring. Here we go. One last winner. Who's going to get it? Oh, he can't win twice. How was his name entered twice? I hit remove all instances. False alarm. False alarm, Bo. You're really lucky, but I can't allow you to win twice. Someone else is going to win here. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Jeffrey R. Jeffrey, I think you won a ring already, right? You might have. So I could send you a Gustbuster umbrella if you rather that instead, but we'll figure that out. All right. Those are the 5 winners. Love that. Thank you to everyone who participated. You guys are awesome. If you won, message me or I'll get in touch with you on Discord if you're there. Thank you all for the support, for allowing us to do it. I appreciate it. Incredible. All right, now from this point on, every raffle entry, aka every membership gifted or every $20 super chat or more, goes towards our next prize, which is the Aaron Glenn signed frame photo or the Joe Klecko signed Hall of Fame helmet. Those are the top 2 prizes for Asmaniac Raffle 14. Isn't that insane? 14 of these since December. Shout out to everyone watching. Awesome. All right. We'll get back to your calls, but first some super chats here. Fiore checks in. Mougey and Glenn said in the media scrum, get used to winning. This is not a rebuild philosophy. If Rodgers and Glenn connect, I think he's back. Rodgers probably will like his mentality, win games. Yeah, I mean, this idea that you give away years in the NFL is BS. Win football games. I completely agree, Paul. Appreciate you. Jacob W. is an Asmaniac. He's in our next raffle with 1 entry with that one. Boom. All right, let's keep it going here. More super chats. Nick Shine in the house. He says, you shave that stash before I get a pic of you and Charles with them on Saturday. We will fight. Well, Nick, I'm a Capelfish, man. If someone gifts 50 memberships, the stash is being shaved live on the air. All right. Now, if that doesn't happen, I would love to take a photo with the great Charles Gorman.
I think the second one, excuse me.
I'd love to. Ladies and gentlemen, the guy who won the Garrett Wilson jersey is on the line. JT, congrats, man.
I didn't win a jersey. I mean, I'll take one, but I don't think I won.
Wait, who's Jay?
I think it was Jay Cruz.
Oh, well, false alarm. My bad. I quickly wrote in my notes here because I didn't want to forget. I just wrote Jay real fast, and that's my fault. I got excited for you. Well, Jay Cruz,
we're mixing it up again. I'll take the jersey.
I'll send you something anyway. All right, pick something.
Oh, man, you don't have to do that. I'll appreciate it.
Pick a hat you like from my merch store. I got you.
Oh, dude, hell yeah. But I just want to keep the hype train rolling, man. Aaron, Glenn, baby, you got a brick wall I could run through real quick. You might need to repair it after, but you got one.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what.
That like the Kool-Aid man. Holy shit. But you know what? We're the damn New York Jets, man. I can't wait for this thing to get rolling. That's it, man. I just want to spread some hype. I'm just too hyped to, be quiet about it, but let's go. JETS, Jets, baby.
Let's win games, Jay. Let's win games. I love it. I mean, we'll see what their plan is, but you got to be excited. We're glenned up. Mimosa, who just won, now this I have right, the CJ Mosley card, is in our next raffle with 10 entries.
It's the Asmaniac membership raffle. For every membership gifted, you receive 1 ticket entered in the raffle to win epic prizes.
Jason in Jerusalem is a channel member. Big Green, Gangan Sai, Zach Burkhardt, Heavyweight, Nicholas Rocca, all receiving channel memberships there from Mimosa. Let's go, people. Entries open for our next one. Uno Jets writes in, God himself can't change the past. As Jet fans, we need to look forward to the new AG playoff-bound NY Jets. Hey, from your lips to God's ears on that, man. I mean, if Aaron Glenn got this team to the playoffs next year, regardless what happens after that, I mean, he's already a legend for just ending this playoff drought. It's been so long. We're the freaking New York Jets, and we're built for this shit. Aaron Glenn. Unbelievable. Comments, questions, super chats. Always cut the line on the show. Congrats to all our raffle winners once again. Let's check in with AG, the Jet Psychic. What's up, AG?
Yo, Jake. How are you, brother?
I'm good, man. What'd you think of the press conference? You look fired up.
Great press conference. It's the opposite of Adam Case with the meme and frickin' the hell we've been through for, that guy that chatted 22 coaches. It doesn't matter. It's full circle, and Aaron knows it. He freaking knows it. I'm like, I wanted some other. I can't believe they didn't interview the old farts like McCarthy but this is the perfect match. This is it. I just want to mention a bunch of things. Let's go eat a freaking snack. That was we got excited with that. Like Rex, sexy Rexy. It's like, no, this Aaron is real. And to know what it is to be a Jet. It's like, I don't know, I'm a deadhead, I'm a Jew, whatever you want to call it. But it's a big deal to be a Jet fan. And maybe I'll do this with you. I want to start because I'm doing this with, I know some other people in other works, but I want to do some business with you. I think we should, I'm a matchmaker and psychic and all this stuff, but literally like a Jet love, anybody that's single, that's a Jet fan. I want to hook up Jet fans with other Jet fans. And I'm single right now. I don't know about you, but just an idea. So here's where we're at. Freaking Aaron's going to be all in with this energy. I'm really excited. Did you see the draft with Jeremiah? Tyler Warren at 7? I could be in for some Tyler Warren.
Yeah, I don't love a tight end that high, but I'm more open to it this time around than last year because there's less of a glaring need at left tackle like there was last year.
Time. I mean, we haven't had, I don't know, he had a really good season. And it should be so interesting, I mean, I want Campbell too, but I don't know. I think maybe a tight end could be the perfect, and if they get the guy from the Rams is the tight ends coach, right? Caley?
Yeah, Nick Caley. I mean, look, I don't know. I think there's a compelling argument to be made. You just go best player available, and if that happens to be Warren, fine.
I think
they take a defensive tackle, a defensive end. They take the wide receiver McMillan from Arizona. I think that makes a lot of sense, especially if Aaron's not here and Devontae's not here with them.
But they said Aaron's going to bring some people from the Lions. They have a free agent cornerback that's a stud, and they got a DT on a rookie contract from Detroit. So we're going to get some really good. It's going to be really cool, because we got some real history. But here's something I was just thinking about with this insanity. Frickin' Mougey hired Nate Hackett.
Well, it wasn't his hire. He was,
No, but he was part of it. That's why Rodgers, is coming because they were trying to get Rodgers before they got Wilson, right?
I think that was part of their thought process for sure.
So, I don't know. And Kubiak went to the Raiders or something? Kubiak went
to the Seahawks as their offensive coordinator. The Jets want Nick Caley, who's the Rams pass game coordinator. Yeah. That's their number one target.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that would be great. And he's tight end coach too. I don't know, but why not? We could really use a 6'6", 250, just an inline guy, like a real inline. Who's our best tight end? Like freaking Barkham, not Barkham. It's been a long time. But I have to just reveal this now that we've had the conference. And when I called you like a year ago and saying they were going to go 20-0, what's going on is that Double Saturn Returns has come into fruition. January 12th, 2025 was the 56th year anniversary of Super Bowl III. So literally double Saturn returns, which is like the most powerful, energy of karma retake. The Jets are going to win next year. And then the Knicks, and then the Mets, and then the Knicks, because they all 3-1 when I was like 9 and 10 years old. I know a lot of people on the channel, go back as far as I do. But this is a total, the curse is gone because we have a Jet. We have a guy that bleeds green, and
AG, I love you, man. And you're AG, the Jets sidekick. We have Aaron Glenn, the head coach, but you had 20-0. So maybe think the curse is still on and the opposite might happen. You're like Neil predicting an undefeated season too. The kiss of death. I do appreciate the fact this guy went from talking about playing matchmaker for Jet fans and then talking about tight ends. I see what you're doing there, AJ. I'm on to you. All right. I see what's happening there.
Oh, nice.
Hit the like button for AG there. King and Dream says, I need a wrench, Jake. Those are for channel mods, K and D. Those are for the committee members, if you will, for Asmaniac Madness. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Let's see. JT says, I'm predicting 0-17. Reverse magic. Love that. Group pick that I was referencing earlier of some former Jets that were there for Aaron Glenn today. I think that's Rob Carpenter right behind Glenn on his left. You got Corbett, Marty Lyons, Tony Richardson, Nick Mangold, Damian Woody. Love this. Love it. Now let's win football games. Let's hear more from Aaron Glenn. For those tuning in late, I've been live for almost 2 hours. I did a 2-hour show earlier. So what? That's a little 4-hour day. Let's recap the best of Aaron Glenn. Whoa. My bad. Clicked the wrong button.
Players that's here now, put your seatbelts on and get ready for the ride. Put your seatbelts on and get ready for the ride. Listen, there are going to be some challenges, but with challenges becomes opportunity, gets opportunity. But here's what I do know. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit. Listen, I want this job. I interviewed for a number of them, but I wanted this job.
I love it. Great tweet from the Buffalo Jet fan. Aaron Glenn doesn't have the get bullied by owner's teenage son and weep to Diana Rossini about it energy. By the way, there's a lot of great people on Jets Twitter. Buffalo Jet fan is the funniest one out of all of them. He's the best. Here's Aaron Glenn talking about wanting this job, baby.
Listen, I want this job. I interviewed for a number of them, but I wanted this job. When I was going to my second interview, I want to make sure this is going to be the second interview. It's going to be the first of the second interviews. Because I didn't want to leave the building without shaking Woody's hand and make sure we had a contract. So I'm just telling you now, everything else was really out of it. It was all about the Jets, and it's been that way from the beginning. The organization, we've already talked. I respect every little thing that you do. Because this is bigger than me. It's going to take us all. It's going to take us all to accumulate wins. And I look forward to working with you.
Love it. Here's Aaron Glenn, once again being asked the first question at the press conference today from Rich Cimini about Rodgers.
Yeah. A question for Aaron. Since you brought it up a moment ago, with Aaron Rodgers, what is going to be your process as a coach to determine if he's going to be your quarterback next year?
Well, me and Mougey is going to sit and talk and just go over the whole roster. And I will tell you now, that's going to be the answer to a number of questions when it comes to the roster in general. So we're looking forward to that process. I can't tell you how long that process will be. But the thing is, we're going to make sure we get the right answer. And we're not going to rush to this answer. We're going to get the right answer.
It's the right answer. And anytime they asked Glenn after that in the media scrums that followed the presser, he said all the right things. It's about all the players, not about one player. They're going to evaluate Rodgers the same way they would any player. There's no point in tipping your hand one way or another. Now, I do think if him and Rodgers hit it off, I truly believe that there's a path for Rodgers to be here. I wouldn't close the door on anything. He gives them their best chance to win. He does. Argue with a wall. Tell me who's going to be better than Aaron Rodgers at quarterback next year that's available to the Jets. But, Jake, they could trade for Patrick Mahomes. Okay, sure. Like, be realistic. Aaron Rodgers is the best bridge quarterback they could find. More from Glenn. This I thought was a great answer here. Just following up again on more from that media scrum that we didn't get to see live, but the videos are coming out. Here's Glenn talking about Rodgers again, specifically in that scrum.
Aaron, what will your process be like? Will you go meet with Aaron? I know you guys are going to
We've already texted Aaron, and me and Mougey are going to sit there and we're going to watch every game tape there is. And then we're going to look at the whole roster. This thing is not about Aaron Rodgers, folks. This is about the roster. And we plan on building the best roster that we can. So whatever that may be, guard, tackle, defensive tackle, that's what we're evaluating. And listen, everybody's under the microscope. That's just what it is. So we're going to do the best we can to make sure we build the best roster.
Aaron Glenn just sounds like a coach, man. I'm not saying Saleh didn't, but I will give Aaron Glenn this. He comes across more authentic than Saleh does. Like, Saleh, I feel like, was trying to be nice to everyone. Aaron Glenn's like being a little more of a hard ass with these answers, you know? Like, he sounds like a coach. He sounds more like an older school coach. Now, what was not asked during the press conference was Aaron Glenn specifically talking about his coaching staff and what he's looking for. Here's Aaron Glenn being asked about hiring a coordinator.
When you're looking at defensively, like you said, you want to bring in your defense coordinator, he's going to run your defense.
Yep.
Ideally, is it someone that's from your background and runs a similar scheme as you, or can it be something completely and totally different?
I'm looking for the best coach.
Okay.
That's all I'm looking for. A guy that's going to be compatible. And that doesn't have to be from somebody that I had. That can be across the league. Listen, when I go through the interview process, everything is on the table. And the best coaches will be here.
Love that. Love that. Right answer. Here's more from Aaron Glenn talking about his scouting background, which is why I think he's going to have such a say in the roster, right? I mean, Glenn's the face. I know Mougey's the GM, but Glenn's a guy with a background in scouting before he got into coaching. That's what also separates him from other first-timers, I believe, with this job.
So 2008, I retired. I take 2 years off to try to be the best dad I can be. Taking kids to school and spending time with my wife. And I can recall looking at ESPN, and I forgot who was playing, but I am cursing the TV out. And my wife tells me, baby, go coach. Go coach. It was like a weight off my shoulders because that's my passion. And it's okay to want to be a coach. Back then, I felt like I wanted to be a businessman, but I'm a football guy. And once she told me that, I got right in coach. I called Bill Parcells and told him I want to coach. He said, no, you're not going to coach. You're going to scout. I said, I don't want to scout. He said, well, that's what you're going to do because I think you have a chance to be a head coach. And the best head coaches are really the guys that are best evaluators. So I took his advice, probably the best advice I've had since coming back in this league. So understanding how to do it from an in-house perspective and then actually going on the road to be a college scout, to be able to evaluate every position. It helped me tremendously to be in this position.
That's what you love. Great advice by Parcells to tell him to go to scouting first. The Jets gave him his start as a scout. He noted that in the press conference. We haven't heard from Woody yet. I read you guys' quotes. So here's Woody talking about Rodgers.
Your personal feeling about Aaron Rodgers returning?
I'm going to leave that to them. You know, they've got to take a look at how the team's composed and what they think they need and put all that together.
Woody, would you welcome Aaron Rodgers back if your coach and general manager would like to go that route?
Absolutely. Yeah, if they want him back, Aaron's a talent for sure. He's a Hall of Famer.
Will you voice your opinion on that, Woody, or is it really just on specific?
No, I'm not going to voice my opinion. Okay. No, that's up to them.
Good answer, Woody. Now I hope he's telling the truth. That's the right answer. It's the best thing Woody Johnson has said in a long time. Let them decide. I want Aaron back. But if the Jets don't and they're aligned, all right, they better be right. What's the plan? But what you don't want is Woody saying, I don't like Aaron, he's gone. Like, no. Let them decide. Let them decide Rodgers' fate. That's the only way to do this the right way. The only way. Bottom line. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. If you want in on the Aaron Glenn signed photo, the Joe Klecko signed helmet, those are the top 2 prizes for our next Asmaniac raffle, which will be next week. We do one basically once a week. This time we did one after 6 days. We announced the winners of all the prizes for raffle number 13 earlier. We're up to number 14 now. So every membership goes towards that going forward. Here's another great cut from Aaron Glenn from the press conference. Longtime Jet fans, I think will love this. Here's Aaron Glenn talking about the 1998 AFC Championship game.
You spoke about your time here as a player. Your third season, you guys had that 1-win season, but quickly turned things around, 9-7 in '97, and then went to 12-4 and had a playoff win. Yeah. What is it about that time? What did you learn in that time about culture building and changing a culture that you spoke about? To give you the exact words, you said sustained winning. What have you learned about that, and have you used that in your coaching career?
That is a great question. If I go back to my first 2 years, I think we were 2-14 and 1-15 the following year. Bill Parcells comes in, and he just totally brought a different mentality and different people. And to me, that's what really changed the culture. And here's what I learned. I can stand in front of a group of men, and I can give as many rah-rah speeches as I can. But culture is about people and getting the right people in the building. And I saw that firsthand with what Bill Parcells did. And that's why the turnaround was so fast. Again, we went 9-7 the next year. We went to the playoffs, and we lost. And I would say this. Let me go. Here's another thing, and you men would know this here. Another reason why. In '98, we played the Denver Broncos. We're out there, and we are winning 10-0 in the first half. We come back in the second half. They kick the ball off. Wayne, you remember this. It was windy. The ball stops midair, and they recover it. And they scored 2 touchdowns. I'll be damned if I'm not going to come back here and get that back. And that's one of the reasons why.
I love that, man. That still bothers him. He's a Jet. This guy is a Jet. That's why, while he's a first-timer, and that concerns me, why it could work is he knows. He knows what he's signing up for. He knows the owner. He knows the media market. He saw it work here. He was on a 1-15 team. 2 years later, he's in the AFC Championship game. He wanted to be here, man. That matters.
Put your seatbelts on and get ready for the ride. Listen, there are going to be some challenges. But with challenges gets opportunity. But here's what I do know. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this.
Let's go, Glenn. Let's go, baby. Isaac in the house. Any clue on when Glenn will sign his coaching staff? No, there's no timeline on that. I'd imagine within a week, they'll have at least one of the coordinators. I would imagine so. Jason writes in, love seeing Glenn Foley, a.k.a. what Jake will look like in 20 years. Was Glenn Foley there? I didn't recognize him in the photos. Bino writes in, Jake, did you see the article Mike T might join the front office? I don't believe he will. I know someone on The Athletic, I think, speculated on that. If anything, I think it might be one of the Spielmans joining the front office. But Mike T, speaking with him and everything going on with the 33rd team, I don't think he's joining the Jets in a full-time role. Ladies and gentlemen, I mentioned the Aaron Glenn press conference. We watched it live. We played you plenty of clips now for those tuning in late. let's check in with a reporter who was there. Ladies and gentlemen, he covers the New York Jets for Athlon Sports. Nick Faria joins us now. Hello, Nick.
How's everything going, Jake?
Happy Aaron Glenn Day to you. What did you make of the Glennaissance?
That was strong. That was really, really strong. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying, of course, winning press conferences, winning introductory press conferences is not indicative of success on the field. But this was a very, very strong showing for Aaron Glenn, just trying to get the fan base excited once again. And honestly, I thought Darren Muji as well was very, very strong as well. They're not going to give you anything in roster decision-wise, assistant, decision-wise, Aaron Rodgers decision-wise. But at the end of the day, you want to see a system being put into place. And I actually just put an article out there that published talking about the biggest takeaway. And to me, the biggest takeaway was trust. Last year, you didn't really see trust from Woody Johnson to his head coach, to his general manager. It essentially said, hey, these guys are on a one-year deal, and we're going to see what happens. That trust really wasn't there. You are seeing the trust back inside the building. They believe in Aaron Glenn's plan. They completely are in love with Darren Muji's plan. It's just something to really look at and say, hey, these guys all trust each other. Aaron Glenn had a great answer today about trust and how much he trusts Woody Johnson. I thought that was the most profound thing of this entire press conference. Trust is back in the building, and when there is trust, there is usually sustained success.
I thought Woody's most revealing quote and the best answer he's had in years was when the reporters like you were trying to press him on an Aaron Rodgers decision and what he wants to do and whether or not he would voice his opinion. And whether it's true or not, he said what he has said previously, but reiterated again today. It's up to them what to do with Rodgers. He's not going to influence the decision one way or another. What do you think of that? And then what did you think of Glenn and Muji's comments about Rodgers? They didn't say one way or another if he's here or not, but what were your thoughts just on the whole exchange there involving Rodgers?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think anyone was really surprised about it. I think most people, when they walked in today, understood that this press conference was going to be about seeing what kind of leader Aaron Glenn wants to be like, what's his process going to be in terms of dealing with players and accountability. But outside of that, the minutia, what are you going to do with your assistant coaches? What are you going to do with Aaron Rodgers? The upcoming slate of free agents that are going to be hitting this team. No one is really going to get an answer for that. And I think most people understood that at the very least. So based off of that, we didn't really get much. But I still think if we're to believe further reporting that's been made over the last week or so, the fact that Aaron Glenn is open to bringing back Aaron Rodgers is huge for this franchise. Jake, you and I are in both agreement. I think the best course of action for this team moving forward is to bring him back for this year, see how far you can go with this rookie head coach, this rookie GM, and just try to build some momentum, build some camaraderie, some success that the fan base can gravitate towards. So I think that's all very important. That decision is going to come relatively soon. But again, by and large, there are no answers here. You're not going to get answers that people are looking for in an introductory press conference. It just doesn't happen. You talked about the Dallas Cowboys today. They had their introductory press conference with Brian Schottenheimer. He talked about what kind of system he wants to run, but they didn't talk about the incoming free agents, what they were going to do with Micah Parsons and all these other things. This isn't really the stage to do this, to answer those kind of questions yet.
Woody Johnson's quote up there on the screen, at least part of it. He'd welcome Rodgers back. Nick, you and I are aligned in bringing Rodgers back, as you just said there. What do you think Aaron Glenn is ultimately going to decide? Because based on this, by the way, I know they both report to Woody again. That's the structure. But Aaron Glenn's the face of all this. He's the face of the team. His voice is going to carry more weight over Mougey if they were ever not undecided on something, right? So
in the live
Glenn
press
wants?
conference, in the live press conference, I think Mougey was asked one question. So everyone knows that the face of this entire rebuild, the face of this franchise, now rests on the shoulders of Aaron Glenn, and he seems like someone who is completely comfortable with that. I think it's important also to understand the other part of this press conference. Aaron Glenn did mention he wasn't going to call plays on defense. Jeff Ulbrich today in his introductory presser as the defensive coordinator for Atlanta said that was one of his biggest regrets, being actually the interim head coach, taking on those duties and also calling plays on the defensive side. So to me, Aaron Glenn essentially operating and saying, hey, we're going to do it with what's best for the football team. It's not about Aaron Rodgers. It's best for the football team. And then saying, I'm not calling the defense. I'm going to bring in the right people, the perfect people for this staff moving forward. I thought it was very important moving forward for the franchise. It's a very important message that this team will not be based off of one particular player. It's going to be based off a team. If they're going to win, it's not just because of the quarterback. It's because they have the better team on most Sundays.
Completely agree. Now, his background in scouting, I think that's part of the reason why they're so comfortable with him having such a voice as a first-time coach. What did you make of that and just him telling the backstory, how he got into it in the first place?
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was very forthcoming, kind of opened the shield a little bit as well. Some coaches don't want to, tell you how the talking about his relationship with Bill Parcells and Sean Payton. And it was Parcells was the one that said, if you want to get into coaching, get into scouting first. That will help you become a head coach, because head coaches are all about talent evaluation, talent development. And you've seen that right now. Aaron Glenn has done some great work in Detroit, rebuilding that team from the ground up, rebuilding that defense from the ground up. So to me, I thought it was a very profound answer. I thought it was a very important answer. You normally don't see this. You don't see coaches start in scouting, then grow into become a head coach. The fact that Parcells is the one that said that and sort of brought him along and helped Aaron Glenn pave the way for him in his coaching journey, I thought was very important and very helpful for the future of the Jets.
Talking with Jets beat reporter Nick Faria. If you have a question for Nick, write it in, because Nick was at the press conference earlier today. What were your thoughts on the Jet players that were in the house for this press conference today?
There's a sense of respect. There's a sense of pride that you just feel is back. I mean, Aaron Glenn, after he had his introductory press conference, he took about 10 minutes and took photos with former Jet players. I'm talking Damian Woody. I'm talking Nick Mangold, people that he wasn't really playing with at that stage in his career. The fact that he was so welcome and open, it was just so strong to see. And that's what I think is the main point here. It's about trust, but it's also about strength. There is a sense of the big boys are back in town. We are going to bring pride back to the organization. We're not worried about the losing that's happened. I'm not really caring about that. I joined the team. Aaron Glenn talked about it. I joined the team. We had one win, and I think it was his third year. And then Parcells came in, brought in the right people, and all of a sudden pride was restored back into that organization. So I truly believe it's great to see. You want to have a strong alumni base of former players. Right before we spoke to him off to the side after the initial introductory press conference, Damian Woody stood with him, and he was essentially just saying, I am here to support you no matter what. And you don't normally, like I said, you don't normally get that with some head coaches. They're there to do the job and to win, and that's all that matters. But there's a sense of pride that has been brought back here to One Jets Drive.
Going to play you what I thought was the moment of the entire press conference.
Put your seatbelts on and get ready for the ride. Listen, there are going to be some challenges. But with challenges gets opportunity. But here's what I do know. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this.
Amen. Amen. Is he built for it, Nick? I mean, he's a Jet. He wanted this job. He's nuts enough to take it. Is he built for it?
Yeah, you also heard it from Woody Johnson today, too. We were sitting, and I was listening to Woody have a conversation, and he was saying essentially what you just said. He really wanted this job. He really wanted to be here, and throughout our process, he blew us away. He was head and shoulders above everybody else. And listen, coaching in a large market like New York, it's, not for the thin-skinned. I mean, we saw with Robert Saleh, not to say that he's thin-skinned, but the minute he came into New York, the fiery, passionate guy you saw in San Francisco wasn't there. It just wasn't there from the get-go, right from the very beginning. Maybe that had something to do with the rebuild and the fact that the team was starting out essentially as an expansion team. In fairness, maybe that's one thing, but you never saw the passion from Robert Saleh. That passion was there right away with Aaron Glenn, and you saw it right from the get-go. He wanted to be the head coach of the Jets. He did everything in his power to be the head coach of the New York Jets, and now he is here. Now he is here to take the reins of this organization, bring pride back, like I said, and start to win games, because at the end of the day, he can have as strong of an introductory press conference as possible. And this is one of the better ones that I've seen in recent years. But it means nothing. We have heard some really strong press conferences completely fall flat because the teams that are they coached by do not win. Joe Judge did a great introductory press conference with the Giants, and they didn't win a single thing. You don't want that to happen. There's reason to believe that it won't happen, but you have to take everything with the understanding that as strong as this is, we are not going to have a full opinion, a fair opinion on Aaron Glenn until the games are starting to be played.
Beastbreaker writes in, AFC East, you better be on red alert. Your thoughts on the AFC East being red alert?
No. This is not the time to think about that. And I'm going to stress that enough. Like I said, he had a great introductory press conference. No one's denying that. But when they hoist a banner about the Super Bowl champions, you don't see a banner won the introductory press conference in people's careers. It's all about wins. And again, like I said, you're not going to compete in the AFC East in the offseason. You need to win it on Sundays. The Buffalo Bills, I thought, were going to be a disaster this year. They got rid of so many defensive players. They got rid of Stephon Diggs, but Josh Allen's maturation process, the offense changed, and they got to the AFC Championship game. Whether they won or lost is irrelevant. They still got there. So I look at how this offseason is going to play out, and yes, it's time to be excited. Yes, there's pride and there's a reason for hope. But that doesn't mean we start talking about division titles just yet. It's about making sure that this team is put in the best position to succeed, and right now they are.
I'll tell you what, Nick. I think I know what you need right now.
Oh, God.
You ready? I know what you need. You need the Beast.
Beastbreaker. 666 $50 will send his ass to the hole where there's no gabagool.
Warning to the AFC East. You're on red alert now. Be very afraid for what you're about to wish for. This is not a game anymore. Aaron Glenn is coming with a team, and we're not playing this time. We're coming with power, strength, wisdom, and discipline. We're going to be like the old Jets. We're going to punch people in the face. We're going to kick them right in the nuts, and we're going to take them for a ride that they've never been on in a long time. It's called a roller coaster. It's going to be scary. It's going to be devious, and it is going to be no mercy on the battlefield. On this battlefield, there are going to be some new rules. Strike first, strike hard, no mercy. That's going to be the new way if we do things. We are going to take our team to the limit. We're going to bust some heads. We're going to crack a couple of noggins. And if we knock some noses out and there's blood all over the place, I don't care. We're the team that's not going to be beaten again. We're going to take our team to the extreme and no mercy for the weak.
You know what time it is? A Beastbreaker 666. I'm gonna take my fist and shove it up your ass, and then he gotta go.
Nick, are you convinced? You sold?
Again, no. I'm sorry. This is. I think as excited as everyone should be, it's still time to understand that this was just an introductory press conference.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Faria. A Debbie Downer, perhaps. Scott,
I said it.
You're right. Of course you're right. You don't have to defend yourself, of course. Anyone getting on you's nuts. I love Aaron Glenn. I want it to work, but it's a press conference. Let's see how it goes from here with the staff and all that. Scott writes, and I love how he's taken many of us back to what it was for us, the beginning, the second half of the AFC Championship game in Denver. I'm all in on this brand. When he talked about that still bothering him, that he got unfinished business because of that for any longtime Jet fan, that was awesome. That was one of the cooler moments of today.
It's a reminder that you finally have a coach who understands, who's been a part of this, who's been a part of the struggles, but has also been a part of the success. I mean, in 2 years when Bill Parcells got there, they finished over 500 and then were half away from playing in the Super Bowl. And I think that's something that is going to excite the fan base. It's going to bring people in. And again, someone who understands is someone who at least appreciates what needs to be done to get past that hump. And for the Jets, it's finishing above 500. It's getting into the postseason. He is a coach, and this is actually why I think that Aaron Rodgers and him make a good fit. He's a coach that understands it's about winning and winning right away. They're not coming in to just play strong football and lose a couple one-score games, moving forward, moving back. It's about winning football games right now. And that's why my opinion has been that this team is going to go after Aaron Rodgers again, because he's still the best quarterback available. There's not many others that you can trust that can help win you games at this level with the team that they have. So yes, it's great to see that Aaron Glenn's someone who understands the pain that Jets fans have had, but it just comes back to the same thing. How are you going to fix it? They didn't really talk about that. They were never going to talk about that. So I think that's certainly a positive overall.
Team Curry checks in. It's real quiet in Buffalo right now, and I'm loving it. Cold, but quiet. Also, Mougey, and Glenn rocket everywhere. Team Curry, money well spent for that super chat. Easton says, Jake, who do you want at OC and DC? So I'm on board with Steve Wilkes to be the DC. I like the choice there. That's who it ends up being. Previous head coaching experience. Has done a good job in a bunch of different places. So that's cool with me. OC-wise, I mean, I would have told you Clint Kubiak would make sense. He's no longer available. Nick Caley is reportedly the number one option. Love that. I just would want, maybe like a Todd Haley on the staff, an offensive assistant that could help any first-time OC. That's what I would do. But Easton, I care more about what Nick is going to say to this question. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, well, it sounds like Haley's going to probably get the job in general, because you see a lot of the offensive-minded personnel and coaches that are being hired or plucked away. Detroit, who is it? John Morton. It looks like he's going to get the offensive coordinator job. That's the play-calling role. You don't know what's going to happen in New Orleans, but it sounds like if they go after Mike McCarthy, he's going to be calling plays, so that won't be as enticing of a role. I look at where the Jets are, and it just seems like Nick Caley's a match made in heaven. I mean, he's a guy that runs a modern-style offense, has worked with quarterbacks before, someone that Aaron Glenn can trust. And I do agree. I think that Todd Haley coming in would be extremely helpful for an experienced guy like Caley. But if you're talking about young, bright, strong strategists, Caley's probably the top of the list, and he makes the most sense out of everyone.
Question from Big Fella. Jake, is it 10 memberships to send Nick to the Hall? Absolutely. I mean, of course. The bounties always apply, even for guests.
Feed me money. Feed me money, and then I will eat.
That's it. What did they serve media-wise, food-wise today? What was the media spread?
They had stuff right up my alley. We had some burgers. We had some wings, some curly fries. You can never go wrong with curly fries. I feel like they are the perfect fry, period.
That's a good take. I like that. Question for you. Rich Cimini won my contest of being the reporter to ask the first question. Did you have any chance at the first question? Did you raise your hand for the mic? How'd that go down?
So again, I understand that I'm very young in this process. I'm now 28 years old. I'm still the youngest here in this entire group. I'm going to sit there and say, listen, if I can get a question, great. But there are a lot of other people that are in line that have been doing this a lot longer.
Do you take any offense to this comment from Yo Holmes, who says Faria looks like a curly fry guy?
No, curly fries were awesome. Yeah.
Now, what does someone that doesn't look like a curly fry guy look like? That's what
that would be my question. What is someone who doesn't like curly fries? That's my question.
So this type of comment I get all the time, and it's infuriating because it just shows you that they don't watch football. O'Bean says, I just want to remind everyone the Jets went 5-12 with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback for all of the snaps. Your thoughts on people saying they went 5-12 with Rodgers, so don't bring him back?
Well, they lost how many games by one score? 6, 7. And let's say with proper coaching, they win about 4 of those games. Now, all of a sudden, you're looking at 9 wins. And yes, in one-score games, coaching matters. You look at the Chiefs and Bills on Sunday. Coaching mattered. Sean McDermott didn't have a really good game. Andy Reid did. And Andy Reid's playing for a 3rd straight Super Bowl title, and Sean McDermott's going home once again. So Coaching matters in this league, and it's not just the quarterback play. The quarterback coming in doesn't just magically fix everything. You look at the Cincinnati Bengals. They missed the playoffs with Joe Burrow as the starting quarterback. That can't happen. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. He missed the playoffs entirely. So if I'm going to sit there and say that Aaron Rodgers went 5-12, then we need to acknowledge that the coaching staff last year was not good enough. The hope and expectation is that this group is 10 times better than the one that was in place.
Hit the like button if you're tuning in. We're spending a few more minutes with Nick Faria. He was at the press conference today. Any other takeaways from today, Nick, that we haven't hit on? I know you have an article that I put in the chat for everyone to take a look and to read as soon as they're done with you here on the show. So anything else that stood out to you from the Jets introducing Glenn and Mougey today?
No, I think, again, if you're looking for answers at quarterback, if you're looking for answers along the roster, you're not going to get it. And you're never going to get it in these introductory press conferences. We don't know if they're going to try and get ahead of the Garrett Wilson, Sauce Gardner contract extensions. It was asked to Mougey, and he essentially said, listen, we're not there yet. I'm just got into my office today. We're working on the staff. We're doing a bunch of different things. We're going to build this the right way. It was very, very kind of deflective of those kind of questions. But it's just fair to understand. You can get excited about a situation like this. You can get excited about all these things that are happening and all the words that are being talked about with Aaron Glenn and bringing the passion back to New York, because passion was on full display today. But in the end, it's not going to matter. They've got to figure out the coaching staff. They got to figure out the players. And then we can make an assessment. I think he had a great answer today, Aaron Glenn did, about identity. We asked him, what's your offensive identity? And he goes, our identity is to play New York Jets football. You will see our identity on Sundays. You will see what that identity is, but I'm not just going to tell you just because you want it. You're going to find out what our identity is. I thought that was very powerful, very passionate, and certainly something to get ahead on.
All gas, no brakes. Is that Aaron Glenn's slogan as well, Nick?
No, you never heard that. I think there would be a few people in that room would probably have PTSD. But again, it's not so much that he had a saying. It was, iron sharpens iron. It wasn't anything like that. It was just, we're going to go in. I understand how to fix this team because I was a part of this team. Trust me, and we will build a winner. And I thought that was very powerful.
You mentioned passion. You would say Aaron Glenn showed a lot of passion today?
Oh, God. All over the place, man. This is one of the more passionate introductory press conferences that I have seen. And I would argue it's probably more passionate than Dan Campbell. I thought Dan Campbell, a lot of it was kind of for show, the whole biting the kneecaps thing. This felt right. This felt like a coach who understands what Jets fans are looking for, understands what's being required of him, and understands the solutions that need to be put in place. He talked about the entire time. You want to change the culture? You bring in the right people. You do everything in your power to bring in the right people. And I thought that was a very clear message sent as well today.
All right. You brought up passion. So I got to clarify here. That's passion you're talking about. Did you get any sense about this kind of passion?
So we're going to get into all of it here. Again, my name is Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. We come 2 hours after every final whistle here for the post-game show. And I'm going to be honest. The only good thing that happened to me late tonight, early this morning, was making sweet, passionate love to my fiance, which I did after the article was written and that kind of stuff. That's the only good thing that happened. Not great. Terrible.
So what type of passion was it from Glenn? It wasn't that type of passion, right? Passionate loving. It was more passion for football and coaching.
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
I would say so. This guy gets it. I mean, Aaron Glenn gets it. He understands.
Boy Green gets it, or Aaron Glenn gets it.
He knows what it takes to be a winner. He knows what it takes to be a winner, and he knows how to get there. And I think that's why Jet fans should be really excited.
Hey, congrats on the sex.
All right. Well, Nick, excellent job out of you. Appreciate you hopping in and giving us some takes. And once again, at Nick Faria, or what is it? It's Nick _Faria, right?
Nick _ Faria 1720. That's where all the articles are going up today.
All right. I already posted it in the chat. I'm going to post it again. Nick's full recap from athlonsports.com. It is going again in the live chat right now. Nick, enjoy the ride home. Hopefully you don't hit too much traffic.
Appreciate it, buddy. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Faria, who was at the press conference today. Good stuff there from Nick. Nick's article is now linked in the chat as of right now. So check it out. Good job by Nick there. Appreciate him always joining us. Rich with a great point. He says, hit the like button. It's free. I agree. Hit the like button. Please support us. Join the Patreon. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. If you're an Asmaniac and you're not on Patreon, that means you're not in the Discord, which is sad because that's where the true Asmaniacs are. Like Papa Jet, Harlan, Mimosa, Will, Bill, Gangrene, Tim. They're the most recent Patreon subscribers. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. Get your name in the intro. There's a few days left in January. If you want your name added to our intro, we update the list of names at the end of every month. Back to your calls we go, shall we? Let's say hello right now to Ray from Cali. What's up, Ray?
Hey, how you doing, Jake?
I'm good, Ray. How are you?
Oh, I'm tired. I worked late last night, but I just wanted to let you know I set my alarm for this press conference, and I was still a little sick. But once I got to hear Aaron Glenn talking, I had to go put on. I had to go put. Yes. Also, I want to take a little deep dive. After sitting back here, listening to everybody talk, there's a couple of things that came to mind comparing Aaron Glenn to you see, I already forgot the Jets coach. They got fired already. But anyway,
Saleh?
The thing is, the Saleh, Robert Saleh. Saleh did have some passion. He did. But when I look now at what Aaron Glenn is, the way he came at it, I seen genuine fupa. He had the football in him, where Robert Saleh never played football. He's no kind of buff guy, but I think he learned how to be a defensive coordinator. But that little from the grassroots was missing. It's like just throwing seeds in it. This man looked like he knew how to sow the ground. Aaron Glenn had a lot of little nuances that in this conference, it's the little conference I seen today. I'm like, wow, he's got all the tools he needs. He's going to surround himself, but I have to keep it real. They're right now a little bit behind the 8 ball, only because of the fact that the Pro Bowl and everything's coming up, and they don't know what their offense. That little answer he gave today was a cover answer. Yes. They don't know what their offense is going to be, so he had to say what he said. The defense, we don't know what the defense coordinator or the arms. They have to get ready to go out to scout, and they don't have those players. So in the next 24 hours, they have to have an offensive coordinator.
Well, not yet, Ray. I'll tell you what. They have the scouts are all under contract through the end of the draft.
I'm talking about the offense. I'm talking about offensive coordinator to know what kind of offense you're going to run.
Yeah, but you don't need to. That doesn't need to be put into place yet. They're going through the evaluations now, and then once they get the coaching staff in place, then they'll meet with the scouts and say, "Hey, these are the type of players we're looking for based on your evaluation. How do they fit our scheme and what they're running, and vice versa?" Like I understand what you're saying. You definitely need to get the coaching staff hired, but it's not just because it's the Senior Bowl this week. Like they'll be okay. Like the coaches, all the workouts are filmed. Everything is on tape. They can go back and watch it after the fact. You don't need to be there necessarily.
And this ain't a disagreement, but I just think my thing is, you see how they dove right into it the other day? They said, man, we got right into it. I really believe they say they're going to be up tonight. They're going to talk. They have to look at, like you said, they're going to look at the roster, but you can't have a 3-4 defense and have a 4-3 kind of players in this. So they are going to have to take a deep dive and figure out. The defense coordinator is going to have some say with the coach and say, hey, this is the kind of players I need. So the scouts can go and look at certain kind of players, not just take pictures of guys exercising. They got to have some DNA that they're looking for. And that's all I'm saying is that they're going to.
They will. That's all.
Yeah. So the next, and it's not a bad thing. I'm just going to say it like this. I can watch in the next 48 hours, they're going to have an offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator, and they will be going down as a team out there to see what it is. And they already talk. I know he already knows who he wants.
Right. There's already been bowl games. That the East-West Shrine Bowl game already happened. So like that's not a priority for them. The priority right now is for the GM and Glenn, right? Mougey and Glenn, they already said this. They're going to rewatch every single Jet game on film and go over every player on the roster and form an evaluation. That's what they're going to do. The Jet scouts, Phil Savage is still, running the show day to day as far as the scouting and, guys being in certain locations, evaluating players. Like this week, everyone's in Mobile. That's all going to be in place. And yeah, like you'll get your coaching staff hired and then they'll weigh in on all that too. But the priority right now is hire the staff. I don't think it's going to be in 48 hours. It's going to take a couple weeks.
Okay. So you don't think the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator be in place before the end of this week?
They could be. I just don't. Okay. You were talking about this being done in 24 to 48 hours. I would be shocked if it's that fast.
Well, I'm expecting to be on your live stream in about 2 days.
I hope so.
I listen every day just to let you know. I do listen to your show every day.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I love your passion.
And I'm excited, Jake. I'm excited. We are going somewhere. We are going to go. Oh, you know what? I need your input on something. Contract. There's going to be some really tough decisions that's got to be made, Jake. I really think that with Wilson, and with Sauce and with Brees and with Jermaine, somebody's going to have to go within the next year because we're not going to be able to keep all of them. And as far as trading somebody while we can, I think that, Parcells used to do stuff like that. He came in and he set a tone. He set a tone everywhere he went. When he went to Dallas and when he was in New England, when he was in New York, he goes and he finds who he think that one of the best players. He challenges them psychologically. Parcells was a major guy doing that. I'm trying to see Aaron Glenn's going to have to. I feel for him. He got some rough decisions coming his way. Because you might be able to trade somebody to get yourself ahead of the curve, maybe get 2 draft picks and be able to build some other things. But
I'm not trading anyone, right? Right. I'm not trading any of them. No, thank you. You don't have to do anything. Jermaine Johnson's coming off injury. Let him play. Sauce Gardner's coming off a down year for his standards. Let him play. The only guy I'm trying to extend is Garrett Wilson. If Darren Muji wants to give this fan base some belief that he's the guy, extend Garrett Wilson as one of your first moves. They don't got to worry about anything yet. Brees is going into the last year of his deal, but you always have the franchise tag. Let it play out. Let's see how they are. They have salary cap. They could restructure things. They could make some cuts. They're going to have cap. I mean, they cut Devontae Adams. There's $30 million for your cap. He's not getting $35 million of money, dollars all on guarantee. They're going to cut him or redo his deal. Hopefully they redo his deal because that means Aaron's back, which I still maintain is the best move for the Jets. The staff hires, though, it's not going to be right away. It's going to take some time, and that's okay. It's important just to get it right. It will start to heat up a little bit. It wouldn't surprise me if we get a coordinator or 2 hired over the next few days, but expecting both in 24 to 48 hours, I don't know about that. It could happen, but I don't think it's like they got to get it done because they got to get down to the Senior Bowl. All these things are filmed. The Jets have their scout people there. That's not the number one priority right now. Speaking of Mougey, he only got one question asked to him at the press conference. He said more during the different media scrums. Here's the Mougey talking about being the GM.
It is one of the greatest honors and privileges of my life to be named general manager of the New York Jets. This is a proud franchise with great tradition and incredibly passionate fans located in one of the most iconic cities in the world. I could not be more excited to take on this responsibility with AG as we work to build a championship team that will make the Jets fans proud.
Okay, let's go. Let's win football games. David says, Jackson Dart, what are your thoughts? Well, his name is not Jason David, but I know who you mean. I mean, I'm intrigued by him. I wouldn't take him 7th overall. If they traded into the first round at the end to do it, okay, if that's what they believe in. My big thing is if they're going to go quarterback on day 1 or day 2, he better not play year 1 or for most of year 1 unless the Jets are mathematically eliminated or whatever. Like whether it's Aaron or Tyrod or whoever, they should play. Let's not put a quarterback out there immediately that's not ready. Let's do it right this time. Let's let him sit and learn. I don't think New York, especially the Jets, is a market where you could throw a rookie out there and feel good about their chances. Aaron Glenn was on the Jets in 2000 and 2001 when Chad Pennington was sitting and learning behind Vinny Testaverde. Maybe he learned something from that experience. All right, we still got a bunch of people on hold here. We're 2.5 hours in, so I want to try and get to as many as we can. So let's rapid fire through some calls. Yeti is next. What's up, Yeti?
Hey, Jake, how you doing, man?
What's up, Yeti?
Not too much, man. I know you got a lot of people there. I'll go through real quick. Dude, great. I love that interview by Glenn. You know, I'm a huge homer. I'm a big Jets fan. Been for a long time. He said all the things that we wanted to hear. It was great. It was awesome. I know you've already touched on that a lot. Yeah, I don't want to just keep repeating the same things that everybody said, but one little thing that I keep bringing up every once in a while when I do call in is people don't understand the points that Aaron Glenn put up for us. If you look at his defensive interception touchdowns and his kick returns, like that dude scored points. He's going to help out with the defense secondary a lot, and he's going to help out with special teams a lot, like significantly. He's going to be a stud. And I'm really happy with that. That's going to help. Those are two factors that we're kind of missing.
He made plays, man. He was a ball hawk. He could teach Sauce a thing or two on that, which I'm excited about.
I mean, you can go look at it. You just look up like Aaron Glenn's highlights. Every other highlight is a touchdown, and you're like, but he played defense. But every other highlight is a touchdown. So that's pretty cool. And I do think it is kind of funny that we finally got Glenn to come in, and Faria starts making sense now. You know, now he's finally like, yeah, let's go. We got him. And Faria is now like a real Jet again. Last thing I got, I'm kind of dropping here. You went to Ithaca, right? You said that earlier this morning?
Yes.
Okay. Did you ever have the beef and whack out in Ithaca?
The beef and rack? I don't think I have.
Beef on whack.
No, I have not.
Beef on Kerouac? You were in the Mecca. You were right there. Oh.
I never had it. I didn't know this was a thing.
Dude, it's so good. Somebody in the chat will pop in and let me know, or let you know. But yeah, man. That's cool. I mean, go ahead, get to everybody else. Sorry, I'm really happy we got Glenn. Super stoked. Great interview. Really proud because I'm about the same age as that guy, so it's cool to see that that he's here and he's back.
I love your passion, Yeti. I'm glad you're optimistic. More calls right now. Let's say hello on the Gusbuster hotline to Bob Up and Down. Hello, Bob.
Hey, Jake. Do you think Glenn has the balls to hire Rex? There's not a better DC in the world. But he takes all the air out of the room, and it would be a ballsy move.
It would. I don't know if Rex would want the job. Like, would Rex be cool being a defensive coordinator for a team that hasn't had any success since he was the head coach? Like, I don't know if Rex's ego would allow him to do it.
He was willing to take Dallas. He was willing to take Denver. I think he'd come, and you can't tell him to shut up, but there's no doubt that he will get production out of that defense.
He would. I just don't know if he would do it, and I don't know if Glenn wants that.
He takes all the air out of the room.
And you're right, Rex. I mean, Rex, if he wanted it and him and Glenn were on the same page, he'd be great. But I don't see it. I don't think Aaron Glenn wants to deal with what would come with bringing in Rex Ryan to be the DC.
Well, it's if you want your defense, they run the same kind of defense, very similar.
It'd be awkward. Rex is campaigning publicly that he's the best coach for the job. He's the only one that could turn it around, and then he's going to take the DC job. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but that's Rex's wait. That's how Rex will get a head coaching job in the future. No one will touch him right now.
Of course, but he should try and be a DC for a different team potentially. I don't know if it's a good fit with the Jets. I love Rex. If he wanted to do it and Glenn hired him, I'd support it. I'd be like, let's go. But I don't see it happening.
I think he's going to end up in Detroit, but that's my
I can see that. I thought good call, Bob. I thought Robert Saleh could end up in Detroit. I thought that would have been kind of ironic if he replaced Glenn. But he's going back to the Niners. Number one Grinder's up next. What's up, number one?
Good. Thank you. Great day for the Jets. Love what I see. And let's get to work. That's all I can say. I know there are some people that are impatient of the process. Gotta trust the process, y'all. Like you said, with coaches and stuff, I understand. And even Rex right now, I love Rex. No. Let Aaron Glenn and more Let them pick their own people. Let's start fresh. Trust the process, y'all. Trust the process. We want to win, so let's do it the right way so we can get back to win. And thanks for everything. You keep up the good work. All right.
Grind, appreciate it, man. Great call. June's up next. What's up, June?
Hey, what's going on, Jake? Listen, real quick, so funny. You brought up that loss to Denver. I've been a New York Jets fan 46 years. I started watching the Jets when I was 5 years old, and I'm 51 now. And out of all my memories, that's one of the three most hurtful ones, losing that AFC Championship game to Denver. Sure. So when he brought that up, it brought like a little tear to my eye, and it left me with that bad taste again in my mouth. I like the fact that that's one of the things that's driving him. I also like that he addressed the Aaron Rodgers situation. That, hey, listen, that's a small piece to what's really going on here. Is about the team. I'm very confident that we're gonna I'm not gonna say playoffs or nothing crazy like that. Been there, done that. What I can say is we're gonna play with more heart, be more competitive, and really give teams a run for their money, I'm feeling. And another thing, keep your eye on the OC from the Texans. The quarterback coach from the Texans is interviewing with us for the OC position, and he already interviewed with the Texans. Interesting. I know you covered the Texans, Jake. Can you give us some information about that guy?
Yeah, I don't know what to, I mean, Gerard got there after I was already gone, Gerard Johnson. He was the quarterback coach for the Texans. He's a Texas A&M guy, which I'm guessing that's how Aaron Glenn knows him because Glenn's an Aggie as well. I would much prefer Nick Caley over Gerard Johnson, but we'll see.
And have you heard about any other rumors? I know it's still early about potential coaches or just the same name circulating.
Same names. I haven't seen it. I mean, there was Kubiak. It was Caley. Who was it? There was another offensive name that was mentioned. No, that's about it. Whatever they do, they better not hire Bobby Slowick, though. That's my only hard, concrete take on the offensive coordinator.
No way. And I also like, one last thing I'll say is, I like Mougey's personality, man. I thought he came across like a cool guy. Him and Aaron's energy look good. I know it don't mean nothing in the big scheme of things, but it does look good. The way their communication was, the way they got along, the nicknaming. And I like his energy way more than I like stiff Joe Douglas. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm fired up, man. Let's go New York, baby. Woo!
Hey, let's go, June. I love the passion, man. Let's just hope they got it right. That's all that matters. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Ladies and gentlemen, I have another prize to announce for our next raffle. Grand prize is the Aaron Glenn signed photo or the signed Joe Klecko Hall of Fame helmet. And yet another Aaron Glenn autograph trading card is now in raffle number 14. Those are 3 of the prizes. We're going to add more based on more memberships. More memberships we get, more money I could put back into upping the raffle prizes. So appreciate everyone who gifts, who supports the show. 14 raffles since December 1st by this time next week. That's pretty crazy. You guys are awesome. More of your calls right now. PBM's next. Hello, Mike.
What's going on, Jake? That press conference pumped me up, baby. You know why? Because Glenn is pissed off. We're fucking pissed off. He's pissed off, and he's going to bring it to the field, baby. The Jets, you know what? Screw it. Get your jewelry ready, baby. This is it. The Glenn and Sauce is here, baby. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Let's go. I love this guy. I love this man. Let's go. That's what we need, baby. That's what we need. Forget it.
Hit it. Let's go, baby. Gator's going to have a field day now with the music video for that one, now that we got some press conference quotes. Let's go, baby.
Put your seatbelts on and get ready for the ride. Listen, there are going to be some challenges. But with challenges becomes opportunity, gets opportunity. But here's what I do know. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this.
Let's go, Aaron. That's our guy. Hey, let's hope he's the guy. That's all we can hope for. David gifted channel membership. Let's go. David is now officially in our next raffle by gifting a channel membership.
Oh, nice.
Love it. Maybe David will win the Aaron Glenn signed photo or the Joe Klecko signed helmet. Let's go. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Still 900 people watching live right now. You guys are awesome. Let's get to more of your calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, he is wearing a Babe Ruth New York Yankees hat. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time.
Hi, everybody. This is Bob from Vermont. I am Bob, of course. Hey, Jake. It was a good press conference. Right? He's a great guy. Yeah, I like fired up. Let's fry him up. Let's get glenned up. Instead of bricked up, let's get glenned up.
Glenned up. I got strong Glenergy.
Yeah, Glenergy. That's a good word. Glenergy. Yeah.
Renaissance. Are you ready for the Glenaissance era?
Yes, I am. He's going to be great. That tall guy is tall, isn't he? He's like a basketball player. Mougey. Is that good? Mougey. Woohoo! Mougey. How's that? Good?
I'll keep going.
Mougey. I don't know that song from this. I grew up in that era too. Mougey. Guess who I called today? Mougey. Yes, he called your show. Mougey. Who called today?
Mr. Bonesy?
Yes, of course.
So I'm happy to hear it.
I had a great time with him. We had a good time. Yep, he's been chilling out for the last 6 weeks or so. So, yep, I'm done with Mougey right now. Yeah, that's good. Okay, Jay, put me in silent next to you.
I'm just going to leave you full screen.
Oh, come on. Look how long my hair is. I look like old.
Hey, what's the latest with Burger King? When's the job interview?
I don't know. Hope she calls me today.
You think that's going to happen?
Yes. If she calls me honey, yes. Somebody give me honey. Who would call somebody honey? They didn't make sense.
You got to stop mumbling, Bobby. We can't hear you.
If somebody calls me honey, what do you expect? A man to call you honey? And that doesn't make sense. I've never heard of a man just saying honey.
All right, here's what I need from you right now. All right. I need a little BK. Have it your way. You rule.
At Burger King. You rule. Yeah.
I need the whole thing. I need the oomph. All right. Let's go. We're trying to manifest this job for you.
Yeah. BK. Have it your way. You rule.
All right, here we go. I'm going to bring on a special guest to do a live rendition with you.
Oh, I know.
Breaker 666 $50 will send his ass to the hole where there's no gabagool.
Hi, Beast Breaker. You want to do it?
Hey, Whopper 445 at BK. Have it.
BK.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Hey, how you like my brother? You met my brother the other day. How you like my brother?
Yes, very funny guy. Very
yes,
very
he's hilarious. He loves you. He loves you. He does.
Hey, thumbs up.
Well, at least you're getting calmed down. I give you agree. You're calming down. You're telling good picks now. You're just saying you're doing good.
Well, hey, Bobby, I can't take nothing away from you. You're a class act. You know,
well, some people don't think I'm a class act because I'm a Giant and Jet fan, but I've been longer than them in together.
Oh, hey, Bobby, let me also say this. When it comes to B-Mac, who crushes better, me or that joke B-Mac?
Of course you do. B-Mac stinks.
B-Mac is totally easy. He's a little.
Oh yeah, he
except he can't block, and I'm beating all over him like whoo.
Yeah, no, he's out of here. He shouldn't even call that any. What he said it to my friend Jake Reyes. Forget it. You don't hit a girl.
Forget about it.
He tried hitting on her the one time. I'm like, dude, that's Bobby's girlfriend, dog. It's called you need to back off, or Bobby's gonna give you a left hook and a right cross right across the jaw, and you won't feel it. But when you go down, you're gonna go, what the hell happened to me? You just got rocked by Bobby Midnight with one blow, Sonny. You're that's why you have stacked internet.
Yeah, Bobby and the Beast. They came up with Beauty and the Beast. It's Bobby and the Beast now.
Very funny. I like that. That's pretty good comedy.
That was good.
But hey, Mougey, listen.
Easy.
Don't screw this up. I'm only telling you don't screw this up, because if you do, me, 50 other thousand New York Jet fans are coming for your soul. Just remember, you screw this up.
No, I think he'd do good.
What that means?
Much better than Joe
Don't even try.
I think
Don't even try or even get in the way. You know what comes next?
Yeah.
See what happens when you do that? That's called broken head, broken skull.
Yep.
That's what happens when you play. See, and I love that hat, Bobby. That's a great hat. You know, Babe Ruth had that too.
Yeah, I know. This is my first show I ever wore on the show, and Jake got me a new one. And he
Beast, you know what they call Bobby?
What do they call him?
The Great Bambino.
Yeah, that's
you mean the Great Bambino?
Yeah,
also, you know, it's also funny. Babe Ruth was also, before he came to New York, he was in Boston, but then when they traded into New York, Babe Ruth brought a good bat and a lot of great surprises to everybody. He just kept going, smacking them. I'm like, damn.
Hey, Beast, give us your impersonation of Babe's swing.
Hey, that's the Great Bambino for you. You don't like it? Out of here.
No, I agree.
Now, Bobby, your brother is a funny guy too, but he kept getting staggedy on the internet. I had to keep telling him, we can't hear you. We can't hear you.
He has the worst internet of anything.
Don't worry. Well, don't worry. Hey, we have her good, we have her bad. 50-50.
Yeah, if he's in the kitchen, it works better. If he goes into the kitchen, it's better. If he goes into the kitchen, it works a lot better than if he's in the living room.
Hey, what you see is what you get.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, Beast, Knob says that you should replace Fireman Ed on the big screen at MetLife. I think you both should be on together.
Hey,
no, that's a compliment. That's a compliment. That's a compliment.
I happen to like Fireman Ed, and I have respect for him. He's been around longer than I have, but let me just say this. When he leads the charge, he leads by example. So just remember, let him do his job, and I do my job.
Hey, Beast, give us a jet chant. Give us a jet chant.
Okay, come on, everybody, let's go. Get up on your feet. Come on. Come on, I can't hear you. Come on.
Let's go. Let's go. Yeah.
Come on. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Yes,
Are you ready?
Yes. Jets.
You know what time it is? A beast breaker, 666. I'm gonna take my fist and shove it up your ass, and then he gotta go.
That was electric. Let's go. Let's go. Speaking of electric, ladies and gentlemen, it's time.
It's time for V-Man to talk about Puerto Rico and his Puerto Rican roots.
Hey, Jake, what's up?
Hello, V-Man. Oh, God.
Yeah, I was going to do a shot with you. You got your Henny?
I got my Henny.
All right, let me just open this thing. Take the lid off. Carefully put it in. Let's to hopefully a more pleasant era of Jets football.
To the Glennaissance era.
To the Glennaissance. No, I love the press conference. Obviously, winning the press conference, winning on the field are two different things. I like the fact that he's frustrated by, that he holds, the failure in that AFC title game. I like that he holds that, like he remembers that, like he wants to make up for that. Like that's the type of guy you need. Like the way he carried himself, the way he talked, like that is the kind of guy you need for this team, I think, right now.
I agree. Look, he's going to say the right things. He's got a connection to this organization that was evident. This was his dream job. Like he wanted this job. There's something to be said for that. Now we'll find out if he's the right coach.
Exactly. Look, you got to be crazy to take New York, and I think that's the type of coach that you need to be. Clearly, like I said, because New York is no laughing matter. This is no laughing matter job. This is not, like I said, this is not working in Jacksonville or Tennessee or some Midwest team. No, that this is New York. This is the media capital of the world. Everybody's looking at you. All the eyes are on you. So
what's on the agenda the rest of the day?
Nothing really. Just relaxing.
Just chilling.
Yeah, no, they're chilling. Was chilling. I'm gonna probably call my dentist again. I gotta get a tooth extracted because it's.
Hold on. Everyone wants to see the inside of your mouth. Go ahead. Gator, have fun.
No, it's like I don't know if you can see it. It's like the back it's all the way in the back. So you ever have a toothache in the back of your mouth and it starts affecting your ear?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah, no. So that's how bad it is. So it's like this whole ear is like right now, and it's like I feel like discomfort there. That's how bad it is.
Tom A says you need to floss more.
No, this tooth has been broken for some time. It's just I ignored it because it was broken, but it just didn't hurt, so I just ignored it.
I see.
So yeah, no, I'm looking forward to this. I like Will. I want to. Hopefully, we get Sign Wilkes as DC. I want some. I want some former head coaches on the staff. Help him adapt to being a head coach. I like that. I like the guy from the Rams. I think that's probably my dream team tandem of OC DC. So yeah, I don't think I got much else to say. Jake, I'll let you get to someone else. He's just gonna sit here and just look at me.
Hey, Beast, give us your impersonation of Babe Swing.
Hey, that's the great Bambino for you. You don't like it? Oh, yeah.
No, I agree.
Now, Bobby, your brother is a funny guy too, but he kept getting staggedy on here. That guy, I had to keep telling him, we can't hear you. We can't hear you.
He has the worst of anything.
Yo! Sorry about that. A little bit of a mess there. Jake, I had to do a little bit of review of updates. But I'm going to say this, man. I already made my point to Mougey, but the fireman Ed, let's go get our boys. Preseason.
Beast Breaker 666. He's the man who would kick your ass, and then he's gabagoo.
You got to respect the film study there for Beast. Always preparing, always getting ready for the next call. Ladies and gentlemen, Nas is up next. I'm going to Nas because just watching your face during V-Man's call and then Beast Breaker there has me dying.
I don't even know what to say, man. Honestly, I was sitting there like, man, I don't know what to go into with the Jets. And then we got into Babe Ruth. We got into everything. But you know what? These guys made me know a little bit more about who I'm a fan of with the Jets. I learned a lot in this last 5 minutes.
Are you a first-time caller, Nas? I don't recognize. I don't recognize you,
man. Nah, but I'm a big fan. I've been a subscriber for a minute. I'm not in your live stream enough, and I think for some reason I must have knew that this was going on.
Oh, I appreciate it, Nas. Welcome aboard.
You're doing great stuff, man. And I mean, really quick, I just wanted to figure out how you felt about just now. Where do we go from this? The hierarchy of like, all right, we got the head coach, right? Like, what do you feel like is really most important? Because we go into the conversation about Aaron Rodgers and that being the quarterback, but when they say sustainable success, and as much as Aaron Rodgers might have the talent, it's like, where do we go from there? If let's say they are 10-6 and get to the playoffs, they can't bring him back another year. So it's like, are we looking at the draft? Are we trading back? Are we finding the guy? Who's your guy in the draft? But quarterback.
I don't know if I have one for this draft. Like
Right?
I don't have like a you got to draft this because to me it's a crapshoot at times in the draft at quarterback. If there's someone they like and they took him, all right, that's their guy. I just my only thing is I don't want any rookie playing right away. I want someone to sit. So if they do it at the end of round one, like the Ravens did with Lamar, they traded back in to get him, or if they do like early day 2, like what the Eagles did with Jalen Hurts, for example, like. There's a bunch of different ways to go about it, but my big thing is what happens now. They got to get this coaching staff right because regardless if Aaron's here or not, that's going to be important beyond just this upcoming year. And figure out what the long-term plan is for guys like Garrett Wilson and Sauce and some of the other players on this roster that are going to be up for deals this year and the following year. So, that to me is kind of the plan here. It's coaching staff first and foremost. Figure out your plan for this year at starting quarterback with Rodgers, and then you evaluate the draft. And if there's someone you like, maybe they go down that route. But if not, to your point, 2026, that's likely when they are going to take someone in the first round if they don't do it this year.
And so you want to know what's such the conundrum of all of this right now is like, we don't want to see another season that puts us in a spot to even be able to draft a high guy next year.
You'd have to trade up potentially. Like the Bills did that, right? They ended their 17-year playoff drought. They traded up to get Josh Allen. The Rams did that when they took Goff. You saw the Chiefs trade up when they already had Alex Smith. They were a playoff team. So, there's people, contrary to popular belief, you don't need to have a top 5 pick and be terrible to get your quarterback. Like there's other ways to do it. There's some luck involved, sure. But if you have a good GM, like that's one of his jobs.
And not to cut you off, the thing that I think I like most about Mougey, which I think Asahel, let me before I get to that point, I love the nicknames. AG, Mougey, I could kick it with that. I like that. Mougey. I think that's all dope. I like that Mougey is a quarterback, you know what I mean? Even if he wasn't a great or good one, like just with that 6'6" frame, a guy looking like a giant next to former All-Pro CB, like I like that if there is any insight he can give with the Denver background, like, we just need a guy that can figure out who are those sleepers because, again, this middle area where there's so much talent on this team, you don't want to see them losing 5 games. All right, if they go 10-6, well, who's a guy that you want to throw a lob toward? And if Jordan Travis is competing with them, we don't know what's going on with him, but that's what I mean. That's that part, I think, of all of this where as much as we love Aaron Glenn, as much as I think he could be the guy to do it, you got to figure out the OC, you got to figure out the DC, and you got to figure out the quarterback. Because if those 3 things aren't done, more specifically OC and quarterback, if that connection and that tandem isn't the way it needs to be to compete in the division, let alone AFC, let alone to win a Super Bowl, those are those 2 spots you just got to figure out. And you got to put all your money into that to handle the best way possible, man.
Agreed. I will say the height disparity here is
pretty
wild.
For real. Honestly, AG, I mean, when he was standing next to all the former player guys, I was like, he looks like a DB with all of them, like Mangold and all of them, man. But the last thing I'll say about what Glenn did, I think somebody else had mentioned, man, like him just being out there and just say, like, this really is not about Aaron Rodgers anymore. Like, and it's taken from a place where you just respect, even if you are Aaron Rodgers, I would imagine. Like, this is just simply Aaron Rodgers. If you're the guy who you've been trying to convince us to be, the type of person that really is just trying their best to win for this organization, well, look how it is. If you want to be a part of this, we can do it. If you don't want to, we can't. But this is like the stipulations that come with it. Because again, we got a lot of our fans, the Babe Ruth guys and all these dudes that with all of the craziness, we do love the Jets, man. So I think Aaron Glenn, he got to figure it out, and they got to really like lock in. And this 5 years, we don't want 5 years for the result to come. We need it to happen in 2 or 3 because it's going to get loud no matter if it's Michelle Obama or Barack. It's going to be loud when the wins don't come. So it got to happen sooner or later, man. But again, I appreciate
calling
you
more.
on,
Where
man.
have you been? We need you on the show more.
These live streams, I don't know if you want me to come around more or less. It was crazy, honestly. But you're right for sure. I mean, look, if you keep me on your radar, I'll definitely come back. I appreciate the invite, man. Like I said, I've been subscribed for a while now, so I'm glad I got to talk to you, man.
I appreciate it, Nas. Great job. Eddie, first time. Oh, hold on. I cut you off too soon.
I just wanted to say I threw my shit on real quick for you, man.
Hey.
Look, we all jetted up, man. Jets, Jets. Peace, yo.
Nas, great job. Great call. Great sweater. By the way, I feel like I should mention this is a Gator edit. This is not actually a real photo for those who didn't get the joke. But we have some low IQ individuals out there who might be reposting this, being like, I can't believe this. Anyway, I will tell Nas and any first-time caller out there, there's still time to get in the tournament, man. All right? Bracket is not set till late February. You got to call at least one time in January, February to be eligible. And Nas is eligible for the tournament. Is one call enough to get in? I don't know. I'm not on the committee. But there's a chance. I know this guy will definitely be in the tournament. The question is, where is he going to rank in the tournament? That we don't know. He could rank pretty high. Honestly, he could rank pretty low. I don't know. I do know this. He's on the line, and he joins us now.
Joe Douglas should have been fired 2 days before he was hired.
I figured that was me, but I thought it could be JJ because Alan doesn't call in anymore. So
he's retired.
He's retired for now. His job doesn't allow him to be on YouTube shows. So we have to wait till the offseason to get some more Alan takes. Look, I keep saying this. Jet fans are the best fans. I love you guys. I mean, you guys are getting all worked up and excited over a 5-minute press conference where a guy read a prepackaged canned, probably AI speech off a sheet of paper and answered 3 questions.
I don't think Glenn did that. The GM had more of he has notes he was going to hit on. Glenn sounded genuine. You didn't get that sense?
Glenn wasn't reading off. I thought Glenn was reading the speech too. Look, I don't care. I think these things are I mean, look, they're a formality. You do them. I just think they're silly and ridiculous. Like, what are we going to take from it? I remember, weigh-ins at press
You're the one
conferences.
saying you had an issue with Joe Douglas because you didn't like how he sounded at press conferences.
These introductory things, right? I remember, press conferences and weigh-ins and people talking trash to me and staring you down. It's like, we get to fight tomorrow anyway.
You
So
think
good.
this didn't sound
we don't
sincere?
need to do this. We don't need to do this. We get to fight tomorrow.
Gary, you think this wasn't sincere?
Listen, I want this job. I interviewed for a number of them, but I wanted this job. When I was going to my second interview, I want to make sure this is going to be the second interview. It's going to be the first of the second interviews, because I didn't want to leave the building without shaking Woody's hand and make sure we had a contract. So I'm just telling you now, everything else was really out of it. It was all about the Jets, and it's been that way from the beginning. The organization, we've already talked. I respect every little thing that you do, because this is bigger than me. It's going to take us all. It's going to take us all to accumulate wins. And I look forward to working with you.
I think it's sincere. I think he wants to be the coach of the Jets. I've never.
Where's he from? Where was
he's
Aaron
from
Glenn
Texas?
born?
He's from Nimitz High School by Houston
Humboldt,
area.
Texas, baby. Where'd he go to college, Gary?
A&M. He's an Aggie.
You better be all on board, mister. I only love guys from Texas.
I don't only love guys from Texas, although I would prefer guys from Texas. Them Texas boys is cut from a different cloth, and that material is not available elsewhere. So I'm glad he's our coach. I don't know what you want me to take from this, right? It's just like a silly little thing to me.
Here's
right?
the take you should have from this. More of your calls right now. No way.
Was that live? Was that real? I don't even know what goes on anymore.
Yeah, that happened the other day. Gator just said he uploaded it, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to play it. I'm 3 hours in. If anyone is still watching this after 3 hours, I could say anything at this point, and it doesn't matter because you love the show, and I don't need to pretend I'm something I'm not. So here we are.
We got plenty of people still watching. That's why I think Jet fans are the best fans. You guys are all excited over a 5-minute press conference where your guy got asked 3 fluff questions.
Let fans be excited, you jackass.
Be excited. I'm just me. Like I guess I'm just more reserved. Like I'm more like
Glenn.
This
Glenn
means
wasn't
nothing
my
to
first
me.
choice either. Glenn was not my first choice either. But I'm going to give him a chance. I'm excited. I'm not going to sit here and criticize the press conference. I'm going to say I'm cautiously optimistic. Is that a fair take, Gary?
Cautiously optimistic is a good place to be. I'm cautiously optimistic too. I want him to work out.
So we all agree. So let's let the fans that are overly excited be overly excited. You know, this is the best time of year to be a Jet fan, unfortunately.
I just said Jet. I literally just said Jet fans are the best fans. That's how I started my call. That is literally how I started my call.
More of your calls right now.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being excited about it. I just, Jet fans are the best. It does nothing for me. Like, I mean, him being excited to be the Jets head coach is
Fan
great.
stands for fanatic, Gary.
It does.
It does. Don't give me this.
I
you're too excited. All right.
Who have I criticized? Who have I criticized?
Give me a Jet chant right now, Alan. Let's go.
Jets, Jets. See, that is way more sincere than Alan's. Alan sounded like a Dolphins fan who lost a bet and had to do that. That's what Alan said. No offense to Alan, but his didn't sound sincere. His sounded like, like your buddy's a Dolphins fan and you want to bet, so he had to do a Jets chance. That's kind of what Alan sounded like. Mine's much more sincere. Although I will vouch, I watched the Jet game with Alan. Alan is a Jets fan. He is a Jets fan. He does have a little bit of that "I told you so" when they lose and suck. He does hold that a little bit.
Beastbreaker says that wasn't enough passion. He wants more passion.
Oh, you'll have to live with that. I'm not really interested in living up to Beastbreaker's expectations.
Why not? What's wrong with Beast?
I didn't say there's anything wrong with Beast. I'm just not concerned about what Beast thinks.
It sounds like you got a problem with Beastbreaker.
I don't. I mean, I understand that you're trying to stir the pot now. You're gonna probably bring him on.
My name is not Ted. Stop it.
You're gonna bring him on.
What do you think this is? Amateur hour?
Ladies and gentlemen, sports fans of all ages, welcome to the event of the year, the moment you've all been waiting for. This is the Asmaniac Rumble.
What am I watching? Amateur hour here all of a sudden? This is not happy hour. Come on. That Jet chant I saw, that was sucky. Come on. Mashed potatoes were way better than what I was seeing. Come on, you're supposed to put it with passion. Come on, you're supposed to have the arms in the air and just be like, come on, man, come on. Look hungry. That's what you're supposed to be like. Come on.
All right, Beast. You better talk nice or Mommy's going to come up to the attic and cut your internet off. You know that. You know the rules. Mommy's house, Mommy's rules.
Pay attention, butthead. Listen to reason and don't give me a hard time, okay? I'm having a good day, man. Hey, would you just learn to relax? Take a chill pill, okay? I'm gonna say something. I got enough things to worry about, okay? Now just don't get in my way, okay? Just listen to me. What do you think my one shirt's going to be selling very soon?
Sounds good, Beast.
I'm the teacher, and you're the bitch. And how you like them apples? That's a slogan. That's called a t-shirt slogan. My next slogan is, this is our house.
Well done, Beast.
Don't piss off the Beast.
Now there's a gas station over here. I'm going to go get some pizza and see if they have any butter to put on it.
You took another out of the Beast. Are you feeling,
that was well done, Beast. That was well done, Beast. I'm not amused by him, right? Like, it's your show. You can have him on as much as you want. Like, it's silly and ridiculous, and he yells and screams like a professional wrestler. But like, It doesn't even make any sense.
I think he would.
There's no coherency to it. Like, what do you want me to do with him? It's like
if Beast ever saw you, Gary. If Beast ever saw you, he'd give you a stone cold stunner, the likes of which we haven't seen since the 90s.
Okay, I mean, sure. I mean, I don't think he can get out of bed, but it's all right.
Nonsense. He's out of bed right now.
He's sitting in bed. He's not out of bed. He's sitting in bed. He hasn't been out of bed in 6
that's where
months.
he
like
enjoys
the life to get him out of bed.
What do you think? He's like, what's the guy's name? You think he's the uncle from Willy Wonka or grandpa from Willy Wonka?
Yeah. I mean, have you ever seen him not in that position right there?
Yeah, I have actually. He's called in.
Have you
he
seen him
when
out and about shopping, buying groceries?
He called in on a walk once.
He called it on a walk.
Yeah.
All right. I can't see. I just remember what was it, like My 800-Pound Life? Remember that show?
He just wrote in, get your head out of the toilet.
Okay, cool. Remember that was like My 800-Pound Life? Like that's kind of the impression that I've gotten from him.
Look, I thought he made some salient points there.
Yeah, name one.
Your passion for the Jets. It's not there. Let's go. You gotta get.
I was very passionate.
Where's your
about the
energy?
Jets? I'm happy Glenn's the coach, I suppose, right? Like, it was my first choice. I like Glenn. He's a Texan. I was a big fan of Glenn as a player. He was a terrific player.
There we go.
I'm going to get a Glenn jersey. If you guys can find me a throwback of Glenn.
I'm working on it.
All right. Because I'm a Glenn fan. I hope this works out. I hope Salo worked out too. How are we saying the new GM's name? How are we saying his name?
It is Darren Muji. Nate with the super chat. I don't want a fat GM that can't speak in sentences as a presser. Also, Gary, after 6'6" slim GM has good presser. Pressures don't matter. Jet fans are dumb.
I didn't say that last part. And already Mougey, Mougey is already a better GM than Joe Douglas, and he's been on the job for 2 hours.
Eiston says, if it's so silly, Gary, why call in? I miss the butter days.
No, press conferences are silly. Like, I mean, these kind of introductory press conferences are silly. And you guys want to get excited about them? It's fine. It's good. There's nothing wrong with it. Like, I don't really care. It doesn't move the needle for me, right? Like, they won 0 games because of this press conference. They gained 0 first downs because of this press conference. Like, okay, fine. Like, you want to have cheerleaders and pom-poms too? It's fine. It just doesn't mean anything. That's all I'm saying. Is like people getting all excited, like he won the press conference. I don't even know what that means. I don't know what that means. Like I said, we don't need to do all this. We get to fight tomorrow anyway. Like we'll figure it out then.
You done?
I think so. Yeah.
All right.
Good show today, Jake. Good show. Well done.
Hey, what's the deal with your ankle, by the way? When are we getting a moonwalk?
We're almost there. It's still wrapped up. We're almost there. Well, it's taking a little. It was. I can't really see from it. I'll have to figure this out a little bit.
Give us a beast breaker karate kick.
It's not really going to read too well.
What do you mean?
No.
Just get your leg in the air. Like you're a kickboxer. You only do normal boxing. You never do kickboxing.
Yeah, I don't do kickboxing.
Do you look down on kickboxing or something?
I mean, I respect anyone who gets into an arena and fights for the entertainment of others. I respect that. But I would say kickboxing is kind of like the entry level, kind of mailroom level fighting.
Eiston writes in, excellent. Let's end press conferences. Then you can complain about the lack of franchise communication with fans.
What is this even in reference to? People just say silly little things that make, and he paid money. Good for you, Jake. He paid money to say a silly little thing. What is that?
Thank God he did, Gary. All right.
Good for him.
It ain't cheap to live in New York. All right.
No, it's not. So good for him. God bless him. I hope you get 500 more of him at least. Right.
I think he made a great point, and he exposed your fraudulence.
Yes. So what was my fraudulence? What did I say that was fraudulent?
As Nate put it in this super chat, I don't want a fat GM that can't speak in sentences. And then the Jets have a 6'6" GM who's slim and in shape, has a good presser, and then you say press conferences don't matter.
What was good about the presser? I didn't rate the presser. I didn't say the presser was good or bad. I said it was a silly little introductory presser.
Yeah, but if you didn't like it, right, you would have said that.
I didn't say I liked it or didn't like it. I didn't give my opinion.
But you one of your reasons. One of your ridiculous reasons behind your anti-Joe Douglas take before it was clear he had to go when it was obvious they didn't win enough was, he can't speak in complete sentences at pressers. That was one of the things you cited.
No, it's that he can't speak in complete sentences and that he's not intelligent, right? Him not being able to speak in complete sentences.
You also said the word silly little introductory presser.
Yeah, is it not a silly little introductory? I mean, is there a greater purpose to this? Is
Boomtown says, stick to the point being made. Stop moving the goalpost. See, these are the comments from the listeners.
All I've done is answer questions. I don't think he knows what moving the goalpost means. I don't think he knows what that means.
Is that a fat joke at Boomtown?
Boomtown's not fat, is he?
I don't know. I'm not weighing in on the man's weight. It sounds like you are.
I haven't mentioned Boomtown's weight. I said I don't think he knows what moving the goalpost means.
You said you don't think he knows how to move the goalpost.
No, I said I don't think he knows what. I said I don't think he knows what that means.
Sounds like you called him morbidly obese.
I don't even think Boomtown is fat, is he? No, I didn't call him.
This is gonna hurt your tournament ranking. He's the chairman of the committee.
You still got to beat the man in front of you. So whether I get a 1 seed or a 16 seed, you still got to beat the man in front of you, right? So the seeding is great and it may help you advance a little, but if you want to win, you got to beat everyone in front of you anyway.
Nate writes in, why get mad at JD not being able to speak at a silly little presser?
I'm not mad at JD because he's not speaking. I just think he's unqualified to do the job because of lack of intelligence. Look, I tried to explain to you people that intelligence matters. And you know it doesn't. You can have a morbidly obese 75 IQ GM and it can be fine. No, actually it can't. Like, I told you so.
Are you calling Joe Douglas fat?
Yes. I am calling Joe Douglas. Why is it not nice?
I mean, why do you got to insult the guy's weight?
Why? How's it insulting? It's an observation. Are you calling Wembanyama tall? Yes, actually I am. Are you calling Spud Webb short? Actually I am. Yeah, I mean it's just an observation.
Well, it all depends on perspective. If I was a dog looking up at Spud Webb, I would say that person's quite tall.
Sure. In regards to other NBA players and other grown men in general, Spud Webb is short.
Jeffrey says fat shaming not cool. Gary sent to the hole with 10 memberships. We'll see you later. I agree.
All right, send me to the hole for I'd be glad to go to the hole. So you get what is that? $50? $50.
Genergy writes in, where's Cannoli?
Cannoli is where is Cannoli? Cannoli's probably out in the living room somewhere.
Easton was very offended by you saying you people.
I don't think I said you people. What did I say? You people. Oh, I caught it like I may have. I don't know. He might be right about that. And if you're offended, that's more of a you problem than a me problem. Like I don't know how to help you with that.
Little Red Jet wants to know, do I sell merch for kids? We do. Decker knows all about some of the merch we have for kids.
Yes.
We have a whole kids line and a baby line at jakeasman.com, Little Red. So thank you for the support. Let's see. Did I miss anything here? No, I don't think so. Any other fat shaming you want to do before we say goodbye?
You asked me if I said Joe Douglas was fat. And I said, clearly he's fat. He's like morbidly obese. He can. How is that fat shaming? Like I don't understand what a fat shaming is.
Gary versus Beast, round 372.
I have no interest in dealing with him. It's like a child hissy fitting in the store because mommy wouldn't buy him a toy, right? It's like that's like dealing with Beast Breaking. I really have no interest in that.
You sure?
I really don't. I look like the caveman from Geico commercials. All right, I can live with that.
Nate says, Gary, don't ever call Daybrigger old.
No matter if it's true. Put that last part down.
Is Daybrigger old, Gary?
I guess it depends on your definition of old. I mean, he's not a spring chicken, right? He's not in his 20s or 30s. You could consider me old. I'm 41. Some people would consider that old. Jake, would you say 41 is old?
I would not. Okay.
When you were 15 and someone said they were 41, did you think that person was old? You kind of did, right?
No, they were older, but they were not old.
Old? All right. I felt like when you're a kid, someone says they're in their 40s, like that seems old. Burger's not. He's not a spring chicken. Is he old? I mean, I would say he's old, but.
Gator writes in, Gary would complain about the quality of sex in prison.
I don't even know how to respond to that, Gator.
Kevin writes in, Gary is morbidly idiotic.
It's fine. If that's what gets you through the night, Kev, Cuervo. That's cool.
Una says he fucks with you, even though you look like a caveman. All love, G.
I appreciate that. Una too cold.
Toaster says Gary is forfeiting his fight with Beast. I can't believe it. Knock his seed down.
Got to do. I didn't forfeit anything. I'm not interested in arguing with him. Like, it's the same thing when the kid says, "Mommy, I hate you because you wouldn't buy me a toy." Okay, that's fine. I don't care. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and argue with you.
You think it's the same thing?
I think it's exactly the same. It's just
You know what time it is? A beast breaker 666. I'm gonna take my fist and shove it up your ass, and then he gotta go.
Gary. Why are you making, in the words of Gorilla Monsoon, you're making an ass out of yourself, son.
Okay, as long as Gorilla Monsoon says, though, a grown man who calls himself Gorilla Monsoon says so, then I should really take that to heart.
You got a lot to learn, son. You gotta calm your butt down, and you're flying off the wall like some kind of a weirdo. Relax.
Yeah, I know.
We got this
Everything
season
in the world.
What does this tell you?
Everything in the world is irony.
Come on. What does this tell you? It's hockey time.
Yeah, I'm not a hockey fan.
Say what? You're not a hockey fan.
Yeah, no.
Basketball?
Yeah, I love basketball. Love basketball.
Oh, good. Very good. I hope you're a Knicks fan because the next time, I'm going to say this one time. Nuts. Bad move. Bad choice.
It's so is being a Jet fan, but that ship has already left the dock, so that's what we're going with.
Let me see it. Hey, whoever this douchebag is, hey, don't worry about my hair. Why don't you worry about yourself? Why don't you do the boy thing? Take a walk.
Let me explain it. Let me address that comment. I assume it's a fair question, but let me address it. When you have hair like this, you don't cut it. That would be arrogant. Okay, this is a blessing straight from God. You don't spit in his face.
Fine with my hair. Hey, if people don't like what they say, someone once said, if you don't like what you see, change the channel. You ever hear that old term? Change the channel.
I agree.
It's oh, you don't like it here? Get out of here. What are you here for? What are you here for? Are you here to pissing bullshit me over some crap? Or are you gonna stand there and give me a good poke? And I'm gonna tell you right now. I've been a Knicks fan 25 years. I've been a Rangers guy for almost close to 30. Jets fan 27, and New York Mets close to 20 some years. I've seen them all come and go. And I'll tell you this, Bob Uecker. You remember Bob Uecker?
Of course, just a bit outside. He tried for the corner, but missed.
How about this one? Now, if that's not Serrano in right field, then he better get a visa. Go get that home run, or it's gonna go his head up his ass. Oh my God. And let me say this for everybody: comedy is comedy, drama is drama, but life imitates reality.
Breaker 666 $50 will send his ass to the hole where there's no gabagool.
I appreciate that, Boomtown. I will not be inviting Beastbreaker onto my show, but now would have been a good time. That is a fair point, Boomtown.
You probably should. Beast would bring in record ratings for your show.
That's okay. That's all right. Gary is morbidly handsome and made countless salient points. I've never heard anyone use the term salient besides you, Jake. I really don't think I have.
Well, I'm a trendsetter, Gary. What can I say?
You have. You've said now. I see. I've never heard anyone else use that term besides you, and now it's become a thing. Beast obviously makes the most salient points.
He leads the league.
By far. He's like the Steph Curry or the Babe Ruth of that. No one else is even close.
I agree. Good to see Bobby wearing the Babe Ruth hat again.
Yeah. I don't like the Yankees, but like it's such a classic hat, like it's a classic hat.
It's the Bambino.
Yeah. That's why they haven't changed it in 100+ years, because why would it's like Notre Dame's helmet. Don't change it. It works.
I agree. All right, Gary. We accomplished a lot. Dre at the buzzer. Actually, no, some comments here. Big fella, is Chris Jones not a man or a leader because he cried during the AFC Championship game, Gary?
Chris Jones cried during I don't know what that's in reference to. I don't. Chris Jones, like the defensive tackle on the Chiefs,
the All-Pro on the Chiefs, was seen crying yesterday.
Yeah, he cried yesterday. I don't know what that's. I can't comment on. I don't know what that's in reference to.
Whoa, hold on. Hey, K won, right? This is the guy who won the Joe Klecko jersey. K_3. You won the Klecko jersey. Email me, asmanjake@gmail.com. I need an address to send it if you're not in the Discord because I don't recognize the name. But if you missed it earlier, the raffle happened. And K, I believe you won. Someone confirm it in the chat, but I believe this was K. I have it in my notes. Anyway, I'll get to his actual comment in a second. This one is from Dre. Gary puts a stick of butter on gas station pizzas. Is this true?
Certainly not. No, certainly not.
Okay.
Is that it? Are we? I'm happy to answer questions here, but if that's it, then I guess we can wrap this up. Are there any more questions, Jake? No? All right.
Gary, thanks for the time. More of your calls right now, but first let me get to a couple super chats and we'll rapid fire through. We have 4 people left, and we'll get to all of them if you're on hold, I promise. Mike, super chat. There's something about AG that just feels right. Every other hire just felt hopeful. This time it feels special. It's because he was a Jet and he wanted this job. Let's hope he's the guy. I mean, look, there's no doubt Aaron Glenn has all the qualities you look for in a leader. Let's hope it translates. Kay, you won. Email me. I'm glad that you got the Klecko jersey. Jay Cruz won the Garrett jersey. Kay won the Klecko signed jersey. Cincy Matt won the Aaron Glenn card. Bosi won the Brees card. Mimosa won the CJ Mosley card. And Jeffrey R. won the Super Bowl III ring. Although, Jeffrey, if you're watching, I know you won a ring, I think, in a previous raffle. So I could send you something else. I have other items for you. Abdul Carter and Shiloh Sanders in the later rounds. Keep Rodgers. Trade up for Arch Manning next year if we need to. Abdul Carter, if he's there at 7, would be sick. I doubt he's making it past the 5th pick at the lowest. Not going to happen. There's talk of Abdul Carter going 1, by the way. That he's the best player in the draft, even more so than Hunter. Mike says there's something. I already read that one. My bad. All right, let's get to Jimbo. He's been waiting a long time. What's up, Jimbo?
What's going on, Jake? How are you?
I'm good, man. Always good when you call in.
Appreciate it. I'm glad Glenn got hired. I wanted Borgonzi as the GM, but I guess Mougey everywhere. Or I like Mougey. Can't you see? Sometimes your words just hit.
I think the lyric has to be sometimes your draft picks just hypnotize me. It's gotta be
I obviously know he got 1 question at the presser, so I feel like we don't really know him. With more of his clips, I guess we'll understand what he is. But
I'll have more tomorrow. He did some interviews with SNY and the Jets official website I played on the show.
Okay,
so all of it.
I'm excited. I didn't really I just was watching your show at work, and I'm glad your show is great because I know on my thing it says the off season is going to be wild. The bracket's going to be crazy. I think I might make the NIT. I don't think I'm going to make the 64, but I'm excited to see what's going to happen.
You might, Jimbo. I mean, you bring it. You just got to keep calling.
Nah, little bit of a draft talk. I know we don't know anything. I agree. I think Abdul Carter has a chance to go top 2. I think it might go him and Travis Hunter 1, 2, or 1A, 1B, depending on how he grades out and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I mean, even if the Jets wanted him and they had the 4th pick, there's no guarantee he'd be there.
No. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna fall to 7. I think I might be on the same. I know we don't have the same type of situation as the Chargers, but I kind of think that we should do maybe if the best offensive tackle or the second best guy is there, we take him at 7, protect Rodgers or just in case if we don't get Moses, if he doesn't re-sign or he say he wants to retire, or he comes back, we have another insurance policy for him. And then another thing, I was looking back at the Lions drafts. They drafted, I think 2 years ago in like the 3rd round, Kirby Joseph, who's an all-pro. Yep. And then they drafted Brian Branch last year, I think, or is it this year? I'm not sure, and he's pretty good. I'm not saying, I don't know what he's going to turn out to be. You know, you never know year to year, but I think unlike Salah, I think the safety is going to play a big role in our defense. And whether that be maybe a free agent that's going to be out there or maybe one of the guys that we're not seeing. Like I said, Stark's my last call. Maybe he falls, who knows? But I think that's going to maybe be a key role to AG's defense going forward. But I'm excited. So JETS, baby, let's go.
Jimbo, great call. Appreciate you, man. Look, I do think the safety position will be more valuable in the defense. The Jets need to create more turnovers. You could do that with Aaron Glenn as your coach and by getting better safeties. I can see that. And it also comes down to the corners making more plays on the ball. Like Saul should have more interceptions. Let's say hello to Doug, who's next. Hey, Doug.
Jake, how are you?
Oh, he's back on the couch for the big day.
Did it. We're back on the couch. No virtual couch, real couch. Yeah, like you said in the beginning, like he won the press conference, but it doesn't matter. He's got to win games. Like that's all that matters. You like to hear what he said. He said the right things, but as long as they're not winning games, frankly, who gives a shit? You know, this fans have been through enough. We just want to see winning football. I don't think that's too much to ask for, although it might seem like a lot to ask for being Jets fans, but I really don't think it's that much. We just want to see winning, productive football. And we just want success for our team. I don't think it's crazy to ask for, and I think it can happen if they do everything right. But I like to hear what both of them said. You know, they said the right things. Just now a wait and see thing.
Let's hope it leads to sweet victories because that's the only thing that matters. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Couldn't agree more.
Sweet victory. Yeah, Doug.
Go Jets.
All right, Doug. Thank you. If you're still watching the show, God bless you. 3.5 hours later. Click the like button if you haven't. How many likes we had? I haven't checked in a while. 651 updated. All right, that's pretty good. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I'm convinced you're not a Jet fan. So, I mean, there's that. Please subscribe. Let's see. Did I gain any new subscribers during the show? We gained a few. We'll take it. 41,145 now. We're on the way to 42. Keep it rolling with your calls. David is on the line, and David's up next. Hello, David. David is not on the line, and David is not up next. So what I will do instead is go to a different David. One that can give us an up-close and personal breakdown on Aaron Glenn's big day.
I got my Aaron Muji. I hope you like my Jets take. You know they call me David T. It's not easy for me to see, but if you bring me full stream, you might like what I had to say. I'll need to get real damn close, cause my vision is dog shit.
Hi, Jake.
Hey, David.
I think
the bucket hat I ordered. It came.
Yeah, I'll get to that. I think universally, all Jets fans would agree, no matter what our personalities are, Jets fans are the best.
Amen.
And I want to thank you for the bucket hat. I actually went up to my mailbox yesterday and it was in, and I'm like, oh, this is perfect timing. I'll be able to wear it for the press conference, which I did. And, so thank you. Proud to be an Asmaniac. Thank you very much.
I love that. Well, I'll tell you what, David, you bring it. You always bring it with your calls, your positivity. So it's an honor to have you part of this this channel.
Yeah, and Jake, you're getting more and more first time callers, and it's pretty easy to get hooked on calling into your show. It's a cool thing.
I appreciate that. Yeah, we got a lot of people out there that a lot of times can watch but can't call if they're working during the day or they don't get to see the show live. So they're out there. We just got to keep getting them to call in and be a part of this.
Yeah, and the press conference, Aaron Glenn, boy, what can you say? Thanking his parents, and he got his work ethic from his parents, and 11 kids, and he's got 3 kids of his own. So right there, that gives you the foundation of the man. Anything else is icing on the cake, and I got my seatbelt ready.
You're strapped in?
I'm strapped in already because I'm feeling it, Jake. I'm feeling it.
Now, you look good, David. Now, let me ask you this. Great question for Matt. Are you the kind of guy who reads the mail on the way back in, or you wait until you're inside?
It depends. I live in an apartment complex. This is a great question. Apartment complex. I live in Florida, so the weather is mostly nice. And I go up to the mailbox, and it's under like a pavilion, and there's a big picnic table there. So sometimes I'll take the mail out and just sit down at the picnic table and read the mail. Sometimes I'll just carry it back to the house. I guess it just depends on what I'm feeling at the time.
I love it. Well, David, you keep up the great work, all right?
Thank you, sir.
I got my Aaron Muji. I hope you like my Jets take. They call me David T. It's not easy for me to see. Sometimes when I have a few drinks, I slip and fall and break my face. Not that my vision was bad enough. Now I have this dull shit scar.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great David T. All right, we're going to go back to David, and hopefully we can go back-to-back David. David, are you there? Hold on. David, are you there?
Hey, can you hear me, Jake?
Hey, there we go. What's up, David?
I'm David
what does
Atkins,
your last
man.
name start with? Are you David Atkins?
I'm David Atkins.
What's up,
Jake,
David?
I'm from North Carolina. I'm 60, and it's tough being a Jet fan here. We've got a few you may know, but when I found you, I've had so much damn fun. It's been hey, man, it's hilarious. The Beast Breaker, great insight. I know some of my questions about the quarterback, but I am so excited, and I want to drink a beer with you. You don't know.
I love that.
I saw the Super Bowl. My dad, my brother, we used to turn our antenna just to watch the Jets, so we'd have to watch the damn Redskins. And this is back in the day, but I got a good feeling. You got to have hope, and it's just a great thing that you do. And I am so excited. You just got a great show, and I'm glad I found you. But my wife even laughs at the Beast Breaker. She goes, "Who is this guy?" And I say, "We're the Jet fans, and we're a unique bunch. We're the Jet fans. I'm a hillbilly Jet, but great show. Love what you do, the insight." And I don't even feel worthy calling in. I just want to thank you for all you do, man.
You're an awesome listener. Thanks for all the support. Do me a favor. Can you email me? Email me an address and a T-shirt size. I want to send you some merch as a thank you for calling in and supporting the show.
You got it, man. And hey, go Jets. Hey, we're gonna get there, man. We go. We're due. We're due. So let's hang in there.
We are definitely due. We are definitely due.
Okay, man. God bless you, man. Take care.
Thanks, David. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for the kind words. Shoot me an email with your T-shirt size and an address. We'll get some stuff sent out your way. How about that? David Atkins, first-time caller. He's been in the chat, though. He's SuperChats. He's gifted some memberships for the raffles, so going to put a face to the name there. Johnny Boy says, Jake, stay on for 4 more hours. I'm driving from Georgia to Virginia. Damn, Johnny. Safe drives, brother. Let's say hello to Dre on the line. What's up, Dre? Your Gusbuster.
What's going on, my guy?
It is en route. It was supposed to be sent out last week. I just emailed my dad about it, and he just got back to me. So it's coming.
All right, I appreciate that. Actually, I'm the most excited about that because I never knew what a Gusbuster was, and you always back in the early days of the show, the Gusbuster hotline, and I was like, "What is a Gusbuster?" Oh, it's my dad's umbrella, but it's the strongest thing. It's this and that, and I'm like, I was like, wow, you know what? In Florida, you need a good umbrella, like that. So, and back in the day, it was always cool to wear like the 5-man umbrellas, or you walk out, pull out an umbrella, and then like 8 people want to jump up underneath you to try and protect themselves from the rain. So, I'm very excited. I can't wait. So, I appreciate that. First of all, big shout out to Jenna G, my prima, Johnny Boy, the primo. Hope you drive safe. Missed you guys. It's been a minute, but yeah, I'm no longer in the office. Now I'm actually New York City. I'm out here taking care of my mom. She's a little older. She needs, little guided, little supervision. So I'm out here in the city, to making more frequent trips. This is kind of like a trip for me. So I just stay for about a week or so. I work remotely when I can. But otherwise, I pop in here to make sure mom is good. I'm in the city for a couple weeks, then I'll be back upstate, but I'll be popping in and out. So if we have any events, Knicks events or anything like that, let me know and I'll be in the area.
March 22nd is the Knicks one. We sold out of the tickets for Asmaniacs, but Trey, if you get a ticket and you want to join us that night, obviously you're more than welcome.
Right.
I think we have like a private area and there's a bunch of bar stools, so we can squeeze you in. We'll make it work.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, you can look out for me there. I'll be there at the next one. But just a big shout out. I see the show has grown. There's Beast Breaker seems to be very popular lately.
He's polarizing, Dre. What do you think of the Beast? You're a guy who loves all types of people.
It's kind of hard to see him and not think of Lane, because that was like one of the first things that I did when he was coming on. I would think, this guy's like a more animated Lane, but they say he's definitely making a name for himself coming up in the ranks. So I wouldn't be surprised.
He's always studying the tape too, which you got to respect. You got to respect the guy who's
that's
studying
good.
the tape.
No, you got to put in the skill study.
How you doing there, Dre? ¿Cómo está, amigo?
I'm doing great, brother. How you doing? I'm New Yorican, so I speak Spanglish.
I feel $50,000 man right now. I feel good. Everybody gotta feel good. It's a beautiful day, except for the wind. That's not a problem. That's fine. I'm not gonna bitch about it. Why bitch and complain when you can just enjoy time and have a good life? If you don't have a
there you go.
Good life. You don't have Breaker 666. He's the man who would kick your ass, and then he's gobbled goo.
You never know what you're gonna get with Beast. You got to respect the fact that the man's always trying to get better. He's studying the tape, and that's what it's all about.
That's exactly what it is. You're dedicated to your craft. You got to put in the work. You got to put in the time to shoot the gym if you want results like Super Bowls and everything else. And Gary, we all know that Gary adds an entire stick of butter to his gas station pizza before he puts it in the microwave to eat it. So let's we all know his dietary stances. So all I can say is, with regards to our new GM and head coach combo, I really wish we would have gotten like the GM first and then the GM, and we could guarantee that the GM and the head coach are in line. I think there's been a lot of speculation, but at the end of the day, I'm happy at least it's a former player, somebody with a stake. So it's kind of like, I think it's what all the Rex fans wanted. We all wanted Rex back, but why? Because he was so, he took being a Jet personally, and he enforced it as a standard. And we loved the Jets when Rex was the coach. We loved Rex as the coach because he wasn't apologetic. He wasn't like, oh, let me be meek. No, he came in, he kicked the door in, he made his presence felt. Hopefully, I think that Aaron Glenn's going to be able to do that more by what he does, not what he says. I think he's going to be I've always admired him as a player. I like that Twitter is now running back some of Aaron Glenn, number 31's greatest interceptions and things like that. I've seen a bunch of them already. The Marino interception that he ran back. So I like the fact that there's some legacy to this. And I think that a lot of old Jet fans are going to start to, not only come back around, but start having pride about remembering the team that they rooted for when they were children. I was like in high school when Glenn was playing. And I remember being like, oh yeah, look, that was a good defense. And, hopefully, rooting for success for the Jets, which just never happens. So at this point now, I've kind of adopted the stance of, all right, we're optimistic. I feel good. I'm optimistic, but I'm not going to start, calling 28 touchdowns. I'm going to wait and see. I want them to prove me right. And then I'll start talking smack. But let me see a few wins. Let me see Garrett start separating himself from the rest of the the elite wide receivers. Let's see what happens. I don't know what to expect. I don't know what our draft strategy is. I don't know anything about Mougey, but I kind of love the name. So I just hope that we get it right. We finally got it right, and
give me a little Mougey. Can't you see? Sometimes your draft picks hypnotize me. Let's go, Trey.
No, I don't know if I can do Mougey, can't you see? Sometimes your picks just hypnotize me. He's gonna die.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dre calling from what looks like Antarctica with how he's dressed, but apparently he's in New York taking care of his mom. Shout out to you, Dre. You're the man. Good to hear from Dre. We got to get Dre back calling, man. The Jet season almost killed him. No, literally, the man had like 7 heart attacks in the last year. I mean, geez, he called this. He's so excited about this Jet season, he called from the hospital that one day. Unreal. The Jets almost killed him, but now they didn't, and now he's here for the Glennaissance. Unbelievable. Ted Youth says, I think we have adults back in charge. Wow, Ted Youth positive. Ted, Glenn was your guy. If he sucks, I blame you. You wanted Glenn over Vrabel because, Vrabel's a Patriot. So I hope Aaron Glenn is great. Ryan says, bring back Rodgers. Amen. All right. Almost 4 hours. Damn. I've done nothing all day but be live. I did a football show at 8:45. I did a Jake Asman stream 1 right after that. And now I had 30 minutes in between and 4 hours straight. So I got things to do today. Things to do. My TV, I have 3 of them mounted in my living room. One of them fell right off the mount, and it was a huge mess, huge disaster. I got to get maintenance on it. So that's a problem. So there's like holes in my wall to deal with. But Aaron Glenn comes first. Thank you to everyone for their support. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You guys are awesome. Couldn't have done it without you. Aaron Glenn is the new head coach of the Jets. Tomorrow, we will dive even deeper to some of the other interviews that Glenn did and what Muji did. I want to go more on the GM because I feel like we know a lot about Glenn. We need to know more about the GM. So we'll do that tomorrow on the show. Robbie Sabo is going to join us tomorrow. He was there today. So let's go, man. It's time. It's time to win games. Time to win games. It's time to stop sucking. This fan base deserves it. And the Asmaniacs deserve it more than anyone. Subscribe to the channel. Like the video. Thanks to everyone who watched the full press conference with us at the beginning. Join the Patreon if you really want to support the show. Get in our Discord. It's patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. You guys are awesome. All of you. Except Alan. But other than that, I mean, everyone else is great. All right. Go Jets. Aaron Glenn. We believe. Now let's win some games, baby. Yeah. More of your calls right now. No way. No way.
Put your seatbelts on and get ready for the ride. Listen, there are going to be some challenges. But with challenges becomes opportunity, gets opportunity. But here's what I do know. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this.
I think the second one, excuse me,